I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A European Union court has invalidated a decision by the bloc's executive arm to fine Qualcomm more than $1 billion in an antitrust case, the court citing a number of procedural irregularities. Its decision. Breaking news and analysis. Townhall.com. UPS going back to the future with its latest delivery vehicle called the E-Quad.
It has a horn, it's brown, has the UPS logo, and carries packages, but it's not a truck.
It's funny looking, but it's probably good for the city, right? You don't have to block up the whole road, but that's not going to take a lot of packages. That's probably one building's worth of deliveries.
New Yorker Ian Lagowitz found out it's an E-Quad, a pedal assist four-wheel electric cargo bike, like a mini slender version of the truck that UPS worker Dighton Anderson was using to deliver packages in Times Square.
It's still pretty maneuverable. It can still get you in between cars if you needed to.
There's only one being tested in the U.S. for now, and that's here. UPS says it's meant for dense urban areas. In Times Square, I'm Julie Walker.
And again on Wall Street, Dow futures up 239 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Yeah, welcome to Wednesday. We're here in the middle of the week, and it's been a fun couple hours for us as a broadcasting company, and I got a story to tell you. I'm going to start right out of the bat. Going with the story here.
Yes.
In case you may have noticed, or not noticed, if you're a fan of our country station, 92.9 The Brand, well, we had it went off air about 12:30 midnight last night, 1 a.m., somewhere in that ballpark, and it went off air. And the reason why is one of our more unique ones. I mean, in the big scheme of things, it's not unique, but it's a problem that, you know, it's Facebook picture worthy, I guess. I don't know, depending on what you're into. But we had a snake get into the transmitter in our country station, which is on the actual tower is on 12 Mile Hill. The phone's ringing. I think it might be our guest. But, yeah, it's on 12 Mile Hill. Like if you're in Artesia and then heading towards Lovington, you go out that highway that way. Yeah, it sits out there. But, yeah, we had a snake get into the transmitter, and it did not. The snake lost that. It's that phone there. I don't know if he's got long arms so you can reach it. But, yeah, the snake got into the transmitter and fried things out. So my boss, is that our guest? Yes. When my boss got into the tower site building and opened the door, half the snake was in the transmitter. The other half of it was laying on the floor. And I do have a picture. It's not. I don't know if I can really see if I can. We don't have it uploaded to our thing here, so it's not on the. Where is it at? Oh, wrong thread. There it is. All right. Yeah, this is. It's hard to kind of see in this picture here, but you can kind of tell for those watching the video. There's a picture of the snake in the transmitter here. I'll see if I can later in the show. I'll see if Roy can post it up actually on the video thing. But there's the pic. So for fans that normally like to listen to Sean and the morning show and country music and not hear me flap my gums for 3 hours, normally like to go over there. Well, I apologize this morning, but as soon as they can get that fixed, get that back up and running, they'll. I don't know how much it fried or how bad, or if this is going to be a multi thing. I think that I don't know. I don't think it'll go that long, but we'll see. It's a big snake, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully that gets fixed relatively quickly, and they'll get the country station back on air as soon as they clean up the snake and whatever it fried. But yeah, it's snakes and transmitters do not work well. That's the lesson we learned from that snake last night. So, well, I think we kind of knew that lesson. We just never had to put it to practice before. Now it got put to practice that snake and transmitter does not equal success on a working transmitter. So we apologize for that inconvenience. We're gonna do our best to get that up as soon as humanly possible there. So hope everybody had a good evening. Another warm one today. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a little bit. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Here in just a couple minutes, John with Oasis Computers will be joining us here, and he stops by once a month and talks technology with us, gives us an update on things going on there. And, of course, if you've got computer issues, things, John can help you take care of those, too. So we'll talk with John here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, I believe we're going to have Brian Luck join us, Roswell Independent School District Superintendent. I didn't get a chance this morning. I was doing something else, but I was going to go check out their website to look about the school board meeting. But we had a snake in a transmitter, and I got doing other things and didn't get a chance to do that. So I think Brian's going to be joining us here. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we'll have the folks from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce join us. I'm probably going to be Andrea, and give us an update on what's happening over at the Chamber. And almost, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. That'll get us that, plus we'll have all of your features and all that good stuff, and that should pretty much get us there for that. But again, I apologize for those that normally like to listen to our country station and wondering why it's not on the air this morning. Well, that's because a snake's in the transmitter last night, and it fried things out. So we'll get that hopefully up and running here shortly. I don't know the extent of said damage yet. I don't know, because just to put something in perspective, that piece of equipment, that transmitter, it's worth more than your car. Just unless you got like a Lamborghini or something. But yeah, those are, and this is like a low end one, and it's still about $60,000 for that transmitter. So radio's expensive. Kids, if you ever want to start a radio station, you got to get rich first, because you're going to spend $60,000 on a transmitter. You got to I don't even want to mention your electric bill when you got a 1,000-foot tower and it's got lights and you're shooting. It gets quite expensive. So if you want to start a radio station, you might need to get a good nest egg first. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully it's not fried, because to replace said transmitter, well, I just told you it's like $60,000. So hopefully the snake did not completely destroy it. I don't know. They're assessing as we speak, so we're in the early stages. All right, it is 13 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny today. It stays hot with our highs between 100 and 105, although we can't rule out an isolated afternoon thunderstorm around Carlsbad and Artesia. Well, the overnight hours clear, our lows dropping to 70 and windy, and then sunny and hot again on Thursday, upper 90s to around 100. We're expecting mid-90s for the high on Friday and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 78 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36%. Winds currently out of the west at 7 miles per hour. Sunny and hot today, looking at a high of 103. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour today. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 73 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Thursday, sunny, hot, maybe below century mark tomorrow. 97 is what they're saying, so that'll be nice. Bring a sweater. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies with an overnight low of 72. Southeast winds 5 to 15. Friday, sunny and 96, even cooler. Woo! I don't know what to do with all this cool weather. South winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. And then looking at your weekend, sunny on Saturday. Once again, highs in the upper 90s, right around 96. For Saturday night, mostly clear, 72. Sunday, there is a 20% chance of showers. They're saying there's a chance. Hopefully there is. Sunny, hot, 97 otherwise. 20% chance of rain Sunday night as well. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 71. And then first half of next week, Monday and Tuesday, they're talking 20% chance of rain with highs in the mid to upper 90s. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some moisture here Sunday on here. Hopefully. We need it. We'll take every little drop. So all I can do is wait and see. All right. It is 15 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, John with Oasis Computers will join us. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump?
Good morning. Start your day with breakfast from the Valley Cafe. Try the Breckwich, full or half, with sausage, crispy bacon, fluffy eggs, pepper jack cheese, and maple Dijon spread, all served on a toasted sourdough. Or their breakfast burritos with your choice of sausage, bacon, or both, perfect to grab and go. You aren't dreaming. The Valley Cafe, open 7 a.m. The Orange Building across from Church on the Move, 801 Brasher in Roswell.
No doubt about it, summer is a time for family fun and adventure. And whether it's a drive across the country for an epic vacation or a drive across town for epic ice cream, you have to have a vehicle you can depend on. A vehicle that's comfortable for the whole family and all your gear. That's why you should begin your summer adventures at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, you'll find southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of exceptionally nice pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. All have survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford even gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So where do we get such great pre-owned vehicles? Well, Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks. If you have one you want to sell, we'll make you a cash offer on the spot and give you a week to think about it. Cross town or cross country, get your summer adventures started right with an upgraded ride from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main, the official sponsor of Summer Fun.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits or the astronauts? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Oasis Computers, John's back with us. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Well, for folks who aren't familiar, John pops in once a month for a visit, and we talk technology and computers and things that we see and do and like and hate about our computers.
Yep.
So how's things at Oasis been the last couple of weeks here?
Picking up a little bit again. It's been quiet for a month or two, but it mostly is quiet this time of the year. It's getting hot again, more people coming in, and just moving along, kind of. Yeah.
So if folks are out there listening and they're wanting to, if you need work on your computers, if you got the computer that's maybe time to boost it up a little bit and upgrade some stuff, he can do that for you. Or if you want to get another computer built, or if whatever's wrong with your computer, John can at least tell you what's wrong with it and help you fix it. Unless it's, you drop a computer off a building or something, there's not much fixing going on there. But he can at least tell you it's broke. You don't know how to fix transmitters and get snakes out of transmitters.
No.
Not your expertise.
No.
Does that happen a lot where, because like you do, you'll go out and do service calls and things, and for folks that don't realize, not every computer is sitting in a nice, well air-conditioned, ventilated building. Some of these computers on dairies and whatnot sit in farms and things like that. So you ever come across some of those where you got...
The thing we see relative often is roaches in computers.
Yeah.
And we hate them because if they're alive when they come in and we don't realize it, set the thing aside, they
then you got roaches.
Yeah, right. And I have to get rid of them. That's happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
We had that problem. We've seen mice in computers. Stuff does get into it.
Yeah, it happens. I know. Hopefully, you catch that accordingly. But usually, is that a situation where it fries something out and then it's just replacing components?
It depends on it. A lot of times you can clean it up somewhat, but they leave stuff behind.
Yeah, I imagine especially something like a roach that would leave,
droppings, whatever, and it. I don't know what's in it, but it eats up the electronics too.
Okay, so it'll chew corrode wires and what have you.
Right.
Interesting. So obviously, if you do have those scenarios, probably need to clean them out a little more often, check them out. Get the dust cans and blow through them a little more often. But otherwise, you might be needing John's services sooner than expected.
Yeah, do not get roaches in the computers. Not good for it.
Is that a job sometimes where most of what's wrong is it just needs a good cleaning? Is that a common thing that happens?
No computer almost that comes in is not completely working because it's too dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time the fan starts running loud in it, and that's what gets people attention.
Gotcha.
The what you call it, the radiator, I guess what you call it, the cooling
fan,
piece.
yeah.
The cooling fan gets all mucked up, and then it can't get the air through it. And then, of course, you got problems, temperature goes up, whatever. Most of the time they will shut off before they do damage.
Okay.
I do have personally the feeling if it has run hot for a long time, people ignored it, restarted it that it does do some damage to it. It doesn't seem to be quite right afterwards anymore. But when it first starts, in general, it's not a problem.
Gotcha. Yeah, but if you let it go, it more likely overtax
using more energy, it overtaxes it. Like I say, it has to run harder.
Sure.
May reduce the lifetime. And the worst thing on it is the capacitors that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like heat. If they get over their normal temperature, they start breaking down exponentially. So they, what you would have on the good conditions, you have 100 years in a capacitor. If it's like running 20 degrees over what it's recommended for, you make it down to 2 years.
Okay.
So those are the ones that are mostly affected by it. The electronics, other than capacitors, they don't do that. Capacitors have an electrolyte in it, so not a liquid, a gel, something like that.
Okay.
And that just boils out of it. It cracks open and it boils out of it.
Okay.
Now, those are replaceable most of the time.
Gotcha. But the point is, if you can avoid it, don't let the computer sit in a hot area.
No, clean it up once in a while. If you see all the dust in the grid, whatever, get a can of air and blow it out and whatever.
Yeah, and you can buy those cans of air at pretty much, you can get them at Walmart and everything else.
And then we see, it's kind of funny because we have different types of dirt. We have kitchen dirt. We have grease dirt from like a workshop, whatever. We've got bedroom dust.
Yeah.
It seems to have a lot of time powder in it, whatever.
And not to mention
fuzz.
Not to mention we live in the desert where it's sandy, dusty, and everything else. So all that stuff gets into your home. It just does, through the filters and everything else.
But the ones that are from smoking, from grease, the kitchen type of deal, restaurant maybe, those are hard to clean up. You just can't seem to get them done.
Well, that's got like a tar, gunky element
yeah,
to it.
It gets greasy and it gets stuck. It looks like you can just blow it off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't blow off. Well, even the dust on it doesn't blow off.
If you know a smoker and you ever get in their car and someone that's like smoked for a long time and they don't clean their windows and you'll see that brown, that film, it's the same gunk that gets in your computer. And it's
real obvious when I used to work on copy machines. They have a lot of mirrors in it, whatever, to get the light going from the top to the bottom, whatever. And the ones that are close to a big street, Main Street, 2nd Street, whatever, and the ones where they smoke a lot.
Yeah.
A good year, and it's just not the same anymore. You can't clean it. You keep cleaning the lenses, then you start scratching them.
Yeah.
And you can't get it hardly off. So, yeah, it does affect it quite a bit. Yeah. It's the reason I don't smoke no more. I learned it from that.
Hey, whatever reason's got to get you there.
Hey, you see that? You clean it up every day, and you go like, nobody smokes in here. And it's like, get a can of air, blow the dust off, and it's brand new looking.
Yeah.
And you go to the next office where there's a lot of smoking, or right next to Main Street with, windows not too sealed up too good.
Sure.
You can't clean them up. You work on it 2 hours, and it's still not the same.
Yeah, that's true. It always leaves that hue or tinge or whatever to it. So if you don't smoke, but if you do, then you're going to have to be a little bit more meticulous with the cleaning, or let's be honest, you're probably going to shorten the life of your computers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like anything else, any other condition. Your car's no different. If you leave your car outside in the sun all the time, guess what? You're going to find the paint job's going to fade and stuff. But if you wax it regularly and keep it under shade, and guess what? It's going to look like new a lot longer.
Difference.
Same ideology.
On the dust, though, when you get dust and it's not too gunked up with whatever else, blowing it out will do, and a can of air will do great wonders. Sure. You can take the cover off on the side and just blow it out a little bit.
And I imagine if you do that like on a regular, like a weekly basis or something, then that keeps the build up, so it'll definitely
it's kind of the wrong way of saying it, because some people can go 5 years and they still don't need to clean it.
Yeah.
They got a nice sealed up house, a modern house, good windows in it, whatever, air conditioning, filters, no smoking, whatever, and it's not in the kitchen. Those machines come in 5-6 years if they've been in location, and
all good to go.
There's barely any dirt in it.
But if you're on your keyboard and you're smoking and doing all that all the time, or it's in a kitchen, then you probably want to, crack that thing open.
Yes. And then in bedrooms and stuff like that, there's a lot of fuzz coming off the material in
your blankets and
blankets,
whatnot.
Whatever. Yes, and that in general blows out pretty easy too, and that will really stop it up. That fuzz just covers everything up. So those things blow off fairly easy.
Good deal.
And then, for some people, that is once every 3 months. And for some other people, like 5-6 years, and it never gets dirty.
So it's basically based on your lifestyle. If you do a lot of stuff around your computer, whatever it's eating.
Right, and where you live.
Yeah. If you live on your computer, you're probably going to have to clean it more. It's no different than
you live in the 100-year-old house halfway out in the prairie out there somewheres.
Yeah.
That, in general, gets a lot of that New Mexico dirt in it.
Yeah.
And in town, in a nice, fairly new house, whatever, you may hardly get any in it.
Yeah. Yeah, the energy efficiency, the materials, it's sealed and better and insulated and all that. But just be mindful of that. It does make a difference in where that computer resides and how it's used, and that definitely impacts that life on it. And and then I get it, especially if it's a work computer and if it's a job site, that's the nature of the beast. But you might save a little money if you crack those open and keep them cleaned on a regular basis.
Treat it with respect. It's a sensitive piece of equipment. It's easily damaged. Laptops, whatever.
Sure.
Once in a while they bring them in and they go like, we don't have this thing very long. It's only 1.5 years old and it has a problem here. And you look at it and go like, well, maybe if you wouldn't bang it up so bad. Keys missing, dents in it, whatever.
Sure. And I'm wondering too, I imagine a lot, especially when people need computers for outdoor like say they got a dairy and they got a barn where they're keeping all that kind of stuff and all that. I would imagine that if you've got the money, they probably make computers that are designed to be set up outdoors.
Industrial type machines. If you want those, you can get them. For most people, it's not needed. Even the dairies, the extra expense of machines like that you may buy 2 of a regular one and just come out better.
So the juice really isn't worth the squeeze unless you're just in a filthy environment.
Reliability maybe has a lot to do with it. If you need it more reliable, get one of the industrial type machines. They're just built better, stronger, better sealed up, whatever.
Well, it's like you're going to go 4-wheeling. You're going to go grab a Jeep, or you're going to go grab an economical.
good way to
Chevy
compare.
Spark.
Right. You don't want to get your Ferrari stuck in the sand dunes, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need something a little bit more stout to do that. So, very good. But think about, it's something that we don't think about. We'll think about what you want the computer to do for a job, and so we think about the internals, which are very important on when it comes to selecting. But sometimes you need to think about where this computer resides, where this computer, what its intentions are. So you need to think of the external side too. Okay. How's it going to handle the elements in which it's going to reside? And sometimes that computer you just buy $2.99 on the shelf there is not going to handle if you were in extreme environments.
Well, the problem these days is skinnier, lighter, less, and the screens are getting stronger, but then they're so thin that they're weaker again.
Gotcha.
So if you put it in a bag and it gets crushed somewhat, you may crush the screen on it, whereas before in an older model that was thicker.
A little more stout.
It may not have done it. Some brands, they just are weakly built. A little bit of rough treatment and they fall apart.
That's all right. I think here in the next 20 years or so, everyone's going to have screenless screens. It'll all just be,
Not sure what's going to happen there. Still talking about the virtual and reality and such things, and it's just not coming along much. So
I'm still waiting for in the movies where I can have screens up in the air and I'm doing this move and I'm doing, how you watch movies and they're all got the virtual,
well, you're
screens.
Doing a little bit like that.
Yeah, but I want the one where there's like 3 screens in front of me, but there's no screen at all, and I'm just going this and this and circling. I want to do that.
I just would like the information to be visible in front of me, so when I know that, so that I know what's going on. That seems to be a thing. I never can remember somebody's name, so if I look at somebody like the Google Glass was kind of supposed to do, and it tells you that's Mike Winters there, and so, that was Mike. Yeah,
that would be handy.
Yeah,
kind of like it's like your own personal Iron Man if you watch the Marvel movies, because Iron Man's got his mask, but he's got Jarvis in his head talking to him and telling him everything.
Right.
I wouldn't mind, maybe not a helmet, but like you said, the pair of glasses like the Google glasses were supposed to do, where you're like, oh, that's Joe Smith. Oh, thank you. Right. That would be handy in my world for sure. Yeah. But even if you're just looking and like, if it was like a Google Maps and you look at a building and it's like, it says it's the JP White building, or you're looking, that would be kind of cool too.
Right.
But I think we'll see that. I think it'll maybe Google Glasses was ahead of its time for a little bit. Maybe
probably.
Maybe
like
here in a couple years they'll retry it and it'll get embraced a little better. But
it needs to be powerful and small too to put it on your face, whatever. So
and I think the big knock that got everybody angry was the fact that you could record people in essence without them knowing.
Right.
And that didn't sit well with people.
Yeah, of course we don't do that these days. Nobody records nothing you do at this point.
Right. Right. You don't realize you got a camera on you 24/7 probably if you're out and about.
It's worse than now than when Google Glass was out there, I think, even with the Google Glass. But it's just the idea that I'm looking at you and recording you.
Yeah.
And if your phone sits there and it tracks where you are, what you do, and whatever, that doesn't seem to hit as much home.
Yeah, it's no different.
You don't realize it.
Yeah, you realize you give out the world about everything you're doing without even realizing by just carrying a phone in your pocket.
Right, and of course, we've been doing it for years if you use the credit card.
Yeah. But they know that if you're at a bar looking and you call, you know what I mean? And now the whole world's and you're a Twitter video away from me.
Right. There's cameras everywhere. Everything
Yeah.
gets recorded, whatever. So.
And there's another way to fix that is don't be an idiot in public and say things that might get you in trouble later. And, if you behave yourself,
That
then
is
you'll have the problem.
sometimes hard to do.
I understand. But, there's an easy way to fix these things. Don't act like an idiot and you won't be, your idiocy won't be put on for the world to see.
Well, you got to realize that wherever you are in public, specifically, that you're being watched.
Absolutely.
Pretty much,
Yeah, if you think about it, every time you watch the news and you see an accident or you see some kind of shooting or something, 9 times out of 10 they've got some kind of video footage because there's a cam at an intersection or a cam in a business or a cam somewhere that catches some of it. So yeah, you walk downtown or walk in a neighborhood. Just even in your own neighborhood, I bet half your neighbors got the little door cams and stuff. So when you're driving by and going by, and it's pretty commonplace now. So odds are pretty good. You're on video somewhere if you're out in public.
Right.
So you just got to either deal with it and of course,
not much you can do.
Well, it's one of those things. Is invasion of privacy. Well, you're in public. Technically, what you do in public is what everyone sees. And
Go back, 150, 175 years, cameras started being developed, film cameras, and you couldn't make a photo in the park because that was invasion of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody thinks about that now anymore.
No, and now
it's a matter of getting used to it. And
yeah, well, I guess if you're current, the mob might be a little trickier if you got to avoid cameras all the time. That's not my problem. So.
There is things you can do. You hang some lights around your head and they can't see you no more.
There you go. You can kind of
infrared lights or whatever.
Okay.
Or something like that, and it throws the whole thing off.
Okay. Interesting. So tip for people that are up to nefarious stuff like that, I guess.
Well, depending on how many people do it, you could end up with the guy that you can't see is the one we want.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I saw on the news last night, folks, if you're going to be going to Albuquerque, they're cracking down on speed and camera. So we were just talking about cameras. That's what reminded me of it.
Okay.
They're doing like camera stings where they're going around certain parts of the city and setting up these mobile traffic cams, and they're busting people left and right speeding. And they're really trying to crack down on speeding in Albuquerque because apparently they're like the worst. They're like one of the worst cities in the country for pedestrians because they keep getting hit because of these stupid drivers in Albuquerque. So they're really cracking down on that. But I saw a thing on the news last night. They're moving. So if you go to Albuquerque a lot, mind your P's and Q's. You might end up with some tickets in the mail because they're or don't speed. That might just be the other option. But that just be on the lookout. They're coming for the speeders. They're in Albuquerque. Yeah, I just happened to catch that last night. We were just on the subject of cameras everywhere and all that. Just reminded me of it. But yeah, so just a tip.
Okay.
Good deal. Of course, kind of transitioning back to more in John's world here with computers and things. It's summer months here. If you're needing help with computers, I know we still live in a COVID world where supply and demand is still a bit of a tricky, especially silicone chip's still a thing where they can't get silicone. Is that still a problem?
I don't know what exactly the deal is. It has a lot of different pieces to it. You know, the shipping, the shutdown of a factory in China, the demand. People, this is one of these. There's a study with what was it done with beer? I think that beer was not made enough. People start buying it up. Then they ramp up the production. Then you got too much manufactured. So we expect soon, whatever that means, a glut of stuff. And then, the prices will probably drop. And then there's not enough again.
Yeah.
It's just like with the toilet paper deal, there's a word that toilet paper is in hard to come by. And everybody starts buying everything up. Now it's really hard to come by.
Yeah.
So, if you really need one roll, and you can't even find that no more. Then you find that so many weeks later, it's flooded with toilet paper everywhere. And then we don't need it no more because everybody got stocked up.
That's right.
And I think the same thing happens with the computer chips and whatever. And then... it sounds like some of the common ones are cheap, common, whatever, are hard to come by anymore. They've been changing production to what makes more money or something.
Okay.
That's why your car seat don't move in your car or whatever, because the chip that controls that, they're out of those.
Ah, very good. And that's why they got warehouses full of cars sitting just waiting for these ships.
Right. And then, of course, you know where you're going to make it and how many people are making it. If you only make it in China and something goes wrong there, whatever it is, then there is no way to pick up on it.
Yeah.
You know, so we start recognizing that putting some factories in the United States again and in Europe and in South America, whatever, then when there's an issue in one place, you got the other places that can pick up.
I hope this is a lesson for younger generations. And what I mean by that is we live in a world where everybody does things for you. You know what I mean? Because of technology, and it's great, I mean, in some aspects, but we tend to forget how to do things ourselves because of that. And the times we live in, I don't think we're done yet. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I believe so too.
You're going to have to be a little self-reliant, self-sufficient. Things like I'm just saying, you might want to get good at growing gardens, things like that. I could easily see food shortages and things coming up, and if you're not prepared to kind of take care of yourself a little, I'm not saying go be a survivalist or anything, but maybe plant a garden for some fun here and do something like that.
Get some experience, some hands-on.
Get some life skills experience here because, supply and demand at some point, if this stuff gets worse, you're either going to do without or you're going to have to figure out how to do it yourself. And I'm afraid we have a whole generation of humans that aren't good at this.
No, and I think we're just too, in a sense, greedy, I guess, and not necessarily how much more can I make, but how much can I save? You know, if we built whatever we're building, chips for computers or anything, in the United States, the labor is so much more than in China. So let's go to China, and then it's cheaper, and that's better, and we all save more money. But in the long run, as we can see now, maybe we didn't save anything.
Yeah, that the converse. Well, and this is where we talk about humans and business and all that. When businesses make decisions revolving dollar, the bottom line here, and that's why.
But it's the dollar. It's the bottom line. Is that measured correctly?
Yeah, and that's just it. From a business,
look at global warming. If you believe in it, anyway,
sure.
I do.
But from a dollars and cents business, they don't look at that. They're looking and saying,
but they should.
I can build a car here for X amount of dollars, or I can build it here for 2X. We're going to build it over there.
If the burning fossil fuels cost, they need that town to burn down.
Yeah.
That cost of that town burning down is not in the fossil fuel that we buy and put in our car.
Sure.
So, I mean...
Well, and I would even use that same argument yesterday when our governor was talking about global warming with the feds there. They were doing their thing. And of course, she's talking about how bad the air is in New Mexico right now, and it's because of these wildfires that were started by the federal government, by the way.
I never get it. They do it here too. We've had it here where it got more on fire than we need to.
They went political with it and said it's all about gas, and I'm like, you just told us the fires are destroying the state right now, and then you're going to go about gas. I'm like, gas ain't the problem at the moment. We got a bigger fish to fry before you.
Well, it is, but there is other more pressing stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to. Well, people don't take other things seriously when you just lump it all together, and that's what they're trying to do.
Of course, on a note of that, I got solar on my building at the store and at the house. That? And, it's been on there for 3 days now, so it's hard to say what it does, but it looks great. There's an app on the phone, and you can get on a website to look at it, see what your panels are doing, how much you're producing, whatever.
Nice.
And
no difference in power in the house or nothing?
You don't notice any difference.
Good deal.
You just... end up most likely not paying any electric.
Well, I'm. If you don't mind, you don't have to give me your business, but I'm just occasionally give me reports when you come in from month to month and just saying, hey, I'm saving X amount. I'm just curious, just to see.
Me too. That's why I was anxious to get it hooked up. It took a while.
If you don't mind, if you just kind of
I'll report on it.
You're just gonna say, I saved $50 this month or something. I'd be curious to see what kind of savings you're getting back in return on that.
It's supposedly over spread it out over the whole year.
Yeah.
You're not paying any electric company for electric that you buy from them. You do pay a little fee for the hookup because you need to be hooked up to the grid the way it's set up.
Sure.
At least. We don't have batteries and are fully.
Yeah, you're not off the grid. You're on the grid. You're just your own power source.
You're just taking the burden off the burning fossil fuels.
And to be honest, whatever you don't use gets put into the power grid.
Right. Now
so.
the idea is to get an electric car as soon as we can here, whatever.
I think that's
then plug that into the solar, and then we can drive by the gas station and laugh.
I'm one of those people that thinks that we need to get even in the nuclear affair shake again too. I think that technology can be there, and I think it can solve a lot of energy issues. With
I did see a documentary, and when was it? A couple of weeks ago, about it's on the NPR News or something like that. The people that drill the oil wells, they can drill deep holes and pump water through it, and it heats up. And then you got thermal energy going.
Okay. Well, that's like a new thing.
And the thing was, what they said was, you think of these places where the heat is close to the surface, and you can do that. They claim you can do it just about anywhere. Just depending on where you are, the hole may get deeper. But we're so good at drilling down, left, up, down, whatever, any which way we want, that seems to be no problem. So use the drilling technology for oil and whatever to start making these thermal generators with earth heat.
Absolutely. And they also do...
and another thing, we have a problem with the lithium and whatever for the batteries and stuff, these rare earth chemical. They come out of the deep earth too. They can extract them out of that steam that comes back out of the earth while you... generating electricity, and they making in the one place they make a lot of lithium. That's the side effect of it.
And that's the one thing is digging for the lithium, and everyone's like talking to like electric and and then they're like, well, but you got to tear up the earth going to get after the lithium.
Apparently, with this drilling for heat for hot water, you get a bunch of the minerals that you need out of it.
Interesting,
right?
Okay.
I thought it was very interesting. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's when they get technology, working, it's, and that's just it. We got to always remember that evolution of science and technology here. I know, we grew up in an age where we've got so many perfected things, but all of those weren't perfected like they were today. And
right.
So,
well, the thing that I run into with the solar again, I got customers come in, whatever, and a certain part of the customers come in, certain percentage is like, wow, it's great. I think I need it too. But another percentage on the other side, I'll never work. Not even trying or thinking about it, but, that will...
Wow,
I will let you know how good it will work.
I'm very curious.
Right.
I think it's because I'm all for things that work, but I also want things that don't impact people's lives. As you know what I mean? Like electric is great, but until it can do what gas does, it's not going to...
Right. It needs to be powerful enough and do it.
It's not going to be adapted by the public. And solar is one of those things, too. It's like, I think once people see, hey, you could save a lot of money doing this, and if everybody had some solar panels on there, how many less plants do we need? Maybe
right. We still need them. We still need something else because at night it don't work real well.
Yeah, but and who knows? Maybe maybe it's nuclear, maybe it's something else where we go and now they like because nuclear they really there's the scary connotation about. But that technology is actually a lot better than it was 3 Mile Island and all that.
Same problem is with so many things. The waste, what do you do with the waste? That's really kind of at the moment a problem. But then they're working on these fusion reactors that seem to do
But like in theory, they could have a building that's about the size of McDonald's set up in an area, and it'll power southeast New Mexico. I mean, that's
what they're
talking
on.
about. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So we'll see how far we get with that.
Absolutely. All right, I just saw the time. In the meantime, when we're not solving world problems here, if you've got a computer that's got on the blink, or even if you want advice on certain, if, hey, I'm trying to achieve this job, how do I do that? John can kind of give you all the bits and details and help you get what you need to do those jobs. Of course, if you're looking to build a computer or repair a computer, come by weekday mornings here. His public service hours are in the mornings.
Right,
here from
8 till 12:30, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
I need the time. It's now it's not we anymore, really.
It's just you.
Yes, and I need the time to get stuff fixed in the afternoon and go on service calls and things like that. That's what the idea anyway.
Absolutely. So, so bring him on by in the morning between 8 and noon here, Monday through Friday. And if it's something simple, like right there, he'll
fix it right there on the spot.
But if it's something where he's got to crack open the case and take a look at it, then what he'll do is you leave it with him.
A lot of times when you think it's gone, it's shot, doesn't come on no more, I plug it in and make it work right there.
Yeah. So if it's something like that, he'll knock it right. But if not, I'll work on the afternoon, and then you call and get it.
Most stuff don't stay longer than a week, and that's because I'm waiting on a part.
Gotcha. Which is not uncommon in this day and age.
Well, in general, it's a screen for a laptop or something like that. Screen or a fan for a laptop is what we seem to wait on because they're all different.
Sure. Well, and those are things, especially screens, those are things that get probably cracked and messed up often because
they're like I said earlier, flimsy, whatever, and
then life
easy
happens.
to break. Right.
Life happens. You something slides off a table, something does this and cracks. It just happens. So.
Anywhere between, darn, I wish it wouldn't have happened to, well, that was stupid.
Yeah.
And anywhere in between.
And then on occasion, the computer made you real mad and it got chucked across the room. But either way, John can help you as much as possible. He is not Jesus. He can't resurrect if you throw it across the room and it's in 30 pieces.
Well, we can fix everything, but is it worth it?
Yeah.
Let's
bury it and start over.
If your 10-year-old machine has a component bad in it that we can fix for $500, then I think you're better off buying another one.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, he can handle all of that stuff. Definitely come on by. Give out the phone number if anybody has any questions.
575-625-9141.
Yeah, and come on by right behind the wool bowl there.
1703 North Garden.
Yeah.
Don't confuse it with the other one.
Yeah, because that's what I do.
Atkinson. It's right behind the wool bowl. Then you can't miss it.
Yeah, you come on by and do you still have your neighbor? I came by the chicken.
No, the chicken is gone.
Has it moved on? Yeah,
it stayed for about a week and a half, and it hung around. I fed it something, and then one day it was just gone.
I popped in a couple weeks ago to drop something off or pick something up from John, and sure enough, he had a visitor, not in the building, but just kind of hanging out in the neighborhood there, this chicken.
Yeah.
He just hanging out, visiting people, and walking around looking for food or whatever, and I guess he...
I fed him a little bit dog food. That's all I got.
No chicken to feed?
Chickens eat everything, but I didn't see any eggs, though.
Yeah. Didn't leave you any presents?
No.
Oh, well, you're on your own for breakfast.
Oh, well. It was fun.
Yeah. It was nice having a pet for a little bit.
Right.
So. Well, very good. Well, John, thank you as always. Appreciate the visit. We'll let you go get to work on that stack. I'm sure you got a couple people already waiting.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that need to be handled. It's not too bad. Bring them in because we can use a little more.
Absolutely. Seriously, if you need help with any of this stuff, John knows his stuff. He's really good at helping people sort through these things. And if there's a way to resurrect it, John will find it for you. So
we'll do it.
Good deal. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Don't work too hard. And let me know how your solar thing is.
I will let you know next time. I'll bring a report.
He'll come walking in. It's like, I got so much juice. I don't know what to do with it. Here it is. Here, have some. Thanks, John. All right, it is 7:51. Let's get you into local news. Also, Kim Commando and a quick commercial break. Don't go away.
Your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Forecasters are giving us some glimmer of hope that rain could be on the way soon as monsoon season officially begins today. New Mexico has faced back-to-back years of La Niña weather patterns, so that has contributed to historic droughts. Unfortunately, it's looking more and more like a La Niña pattern will settle in again this summer. The last 2 years, southeast New Mexico saw just a little more than 3 inches of total rain throughout the entire summer season. A man accused of stealing 3 search and rescue dogs from a local doctor has been arrested, and the dogs are now in safe hands. The FBI said it arrested John Green in San Antonio, Texas, Monday. Last month, Carlsbad police said Green broke into his ex-wife's home and stole her car keys, and then took off in her SUV with the dogs, one of which was pregnant and has since given birth to puppies. Dr. Kim Lark, Green's ex-wife, hired a private eye who tracked down Green and the dogs. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
No one seems to recall the cryptocurrency predictions that Warren Buffett made on CNBC back in 2018. Short and to the point, Warren Buffett simply said, they will all come to a bad ending. Now, 4 years later, crypto millionaires and billionaires' fortunes are just vanishing, and Warren Buffett thinks he knows why. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by ExpressVPN. secure online data, and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. At the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting back in May, Warren Buffett said, whether crypto goes up or down in the next year, or 5 years, or even 10 years, I don't know. But one thing I'm sure of is that crypto doesn't multiply. It doesn't produce anything. Yesterday, Coinbase, the world's largest crypto exchange, slashed 18% of its workforce, and there's probably more coming as crypto fortunes vanish. Coinbase is warning investors that this hot summer is actually going to be a long crypto winter. I post breaking tech news 24/7 at my website, commando.com. Innovative businesses see every day as an opportunity to create something new. Dell Technologies advisors are here with tools and expertise to help you do incredible things, because Dell Technologies believes there's an innovator in all of us. To do more with a Latitude laptop, Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Find tech that suits you by calling a Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL, 877-ASK-DELL.
Right now, get the incredible iPhone 13 on us at T-Mobile, the network with more 5G bars in more places.
I'm becoming an influencer. How so? With my iPhone 13's dual camera, my travel photos look amazing, and I can share them with 5G during our hike up there. Coming? I'll catch you online.
Switch to T-Mobile and get the new iPhone 13 on us with eligible trade-in on our Max plan.
Via 24 monthly bill credits with qualifying new line plus tax for well-qualified customers. Contact us before canceling service to continue remaining bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement is due. T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network. See details.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny today. It stays hot with our highs between 100 and 105, although we can't rule out an isolated afternoon thunderstorm around Carlsbad and Artesia. Well, the overnight hours clear, our lows dropping to 70 and windy, and then sunny and hot again on Thursday, upper 90s to around 100. We're expecting mid-90s for the high on Friday and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Hey, New Mexico. Experiencing issues keeping your office technology up to date with these crazy supply chain issues? Well, DSI is here to help. We've diversified our products and solutions to help your business not just survive, but thrive in any situation. Have your teams collaborate and share with high-def video walls and interactive smart panels. With free unlimited support, the fear of any new technology is a thing of the past. Contact DSI today to upgrade your workspace. www.dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Well, you can tell that the Goddard baseball team was pretty well thought of, although the Rockets themselves probably wished for a better result in the postseason. But the All-State teams were released for Class 4A, and 4 Goddard guys were selected on the second team. Now, remember, this is for everybody, not just seniors. Caleb Seeley, though, was a senior for Goddard. He was picked second-team pitcher. His teammate Lucas Wright, a junior for Goddard, was picked on the second team. In the infield, sophomore Ryan Alsop was picked from Goddard, as well as in the outfield, Kobe Eldridge. He's a junior for the Rockets. And picked as honorable mention catcher, Cinco Holloway, only a sophomore for Goddard. So you can bet the Rockets are looking forward to next season when all these underclassmen will be back for another try. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. producer prices surged 10.8% in May from a year earlier, underscoring the ongoing threat to the economy from inflation that shows no sign of slowing. Tuesday's report from the Labor Department showed that the Producer Price Index, which measures inflation before it reaches consumers, rose at a slightly slower pace last month than in April, when it jumped 10.9% from a year earlier. Energy prices, led by gas, rose 5% just in May from April. Construction equipment manufacturer Caterpillar said Tuesday it is packing up its headquarters from its longtime home state of Illinois and moving to Texas. Caterpillar Incorporated said that it's transferring its global base to the Dallas suburb of Irving from Deerfield outside of Chicago. The company had been based in Peoria, Illinois for over 90 years before announcing a move to Deerfield in 2017. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
This lot is hot.
The summer of savings is on now at Roswell Nissan with scorching savings on a fresh lineup of amazing vehicles like a 2016 Nissan Altima for just $319 a month, a 2015 GMC Terrain for just $269 a month, or a 2016 Jeep Cherokee for just $209 a month. Get a Mexico resort vacation or Apex Cinema movie ticket just for stopping by, an Apex Cinema gift card with any test drive, and your choice of splash pad with purchase. And register to win a trampoline basketball hoop combo to be given away June 18th at 1 p.m. The summer of savings on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Speculation the Federal Reserve's on the verge of announcing its biggest interest rate hike since 1994. Later today, the central bank expected to unveil a 0.75% increase in its benchmark short-term rate. As inflation rises, retail sales sink, dropping 0.3% last month. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell indicating he may back a gun bill compromise.
The GOP leader is signaling you can add him to the list of Republicans leaning toward passage of the bill. McConnell says he's seen the framework of the proposal and says, quote, if the legislation ends up reflecting what the framework indicates, I'll be supportive. The proposal stops short of raising the age for buyers to legally purchase AR-15 style rifles. Instead, it earmarks money to help states identify potential shooters. It would also allow access to juvenile criminal records for would-be gun buyers between ages 18 and 21. Bob Agnew reporting.
She is a Republican who just won a special election for a South Texas congressional seat that's been in Democrat hands for decades. Maya Flores telling the Salem Radio Network that a secure border is one of her top priorities.
We're not just help protecting the American people. We're also protecting these people as well, because they will stop making this journey where they're being abused and women are being raped and children as well.
A Republican congressman who voted to impeach President Trump has lost his South Carolina primary race. Five-term GOP Congressman Tom Rice defeated by State Rep Russell Fry, who was endorsed by Mr. Trump. Ahead of today's Fed announcement on interest rates, stocks on Wall Street are higher. Right now, the Dow is up 375 points. The NASDAQ ahead 168. The S&P is up 52 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I've always been kind of cynical towards advertising, which I know doesn't make much sense considering I'm currently recording a commercial. It's all the fluffy words that make us cynical, right? A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a blue light special, but only, of course, if you call right now. It all kind of makes me nauseous, and yet here I am about to say that right now actually might be a once-in-a-lifetime moment for some of us, and that is the opportunity of a cash-out refinance. Arguably never has there been a moment in time like the last few years where home values have jumped at crazy historical levels, leaving all this extra money sitting inside our homes. A cash-out refinance lets you put that extra money in your pocket to use for life. If you'd like to see your options, we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
The European Central Bank's Rate-Setting Council planning an unscheduled meeting to discuss market conditions, with borrowing costs for several countries rising after the bank said it would hike interest rates.
The bank last week announced the hikes in July and September without specifying how it would protect countries sharing the euro currency if borrowing costs rose excessively, as they did in the European debt crisis in 2010-2012. That's a potential concern for heavily indebted governments, most notably Italy. The ECB's surprise meeting comes the day after that the US Federal Reserve is expected to announce its largest interest rate hike since 1994. Europe's bank has trailed the Fed and other central banks in raising rates to combat decade's high levels of inflation. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Iran appears to be readying for a space launch based on satellite images. Townhall.com. One state in the Midwest adopting a controversial school security measure.
Ohio school districts could be arming employees by this fall under a bill signed by Republican Governor Mike DeWine. The law requires up to 24 hours of training before an employee can be armed and up to 8 hours of annual training. But, as expected, several big city Ohio mayors, all of them Democrats, have sharply criticized the measure. Jason Walker reporting.
Microsoft officially sending Internet Explorer into retirement. As of today, Microsoft no longer supporting the once dominant browser. Its launch in 1995 signaled the beginning of the end of the web's first widely popular browser. That was Netscape Navigator. Once again on Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up 369 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Snakes on a Plane Wednesday.
You know, there are certain things in radio you can plan for, and there are certain things in radio that just come out of the blue, and this is one of those things.
Yeah, Sean's a man with a radio show and no radio to put it on.
There are sections of snakes sitting in our transmitter room right now.
That's right. Well, if you ever want to try barbecue snake.
I am so sick of these mother-loving snakes in my mother-loving transmitter.
Yeah, it is. It's been a fun morning for our radio staff here. At least we got a show.
Yeah. Those snakes in our tower.
So if you're trying to check Gene's show out on KSVP this morning, think, hey, where's Gene at? He's about waist deep in snake guts.
Yeah.
That's he's over in doing that.
Usually when you hear somebody say that they're getting up in them guts, it's a good thing. This, not so much.
If you're wanting to see pics, I did share our brand Facebook page status on our Roswell Talk FM.
Right.
status, so you can with a pair of pics of the snake's final moments.
I genuinely think that we need to get a camera, like a 24-hour simulcast camera in the tower room, in the transmitter room, because people on TikTok will watch like a stop sign. There's like a TikTok video of just a 24-hour broadcast of a stop sign to see if people will stop at the sign.
Okay.
An incident like this needed to be like captured on video. The fact that there were bits of that snake means it exploded in a fantastic manner. I really wish I could have seen it.
I don't know if I want to.
I do. I really do.
Yeah. Well, and here's the...
He took out our whole radio station. I want to see him get taken out.
Yeah.
Or her.
Well,
I'm not trying to genderize the snake.
I believe it identifies as binary.
It was a gender fluid snake.
But anyway, the snake is no longer with us. God rest its soul. But a snake took out our country station last night, about 12.
Which is the most country thing you could say. There's a snake in our transmitter. It really is the most country statement that could be made.
Yeah, so they're trying to get that, and hopefully they'll hopefully they can get it all fixed up, and we don't have to replace a transmitter, because that is not cheap. If
I'm
happens.
still doing a show for the record, because we could come on at any moment, so I want to make sure we're ready. So I'm still doing a show.
That's right. But in the meantime,
if we come on mid-break, don't expect me to go back and give you any context. I'll do what I can.
But I asked Gene, I was like, so we having snake for lunch today, or what's going on? So
that's exotic.
Yeah. Have you ever had snake?
No.
I don't think I have. I want to try it. There was I do want to try it.
All I can think is that scene in Waterboy. Snake don't exactly have pots, but if I had to call it anything, I'd say it was his knee.
Yeah, I would like to try it. I'd
be curious.
Try
snake and gator are the two I really want to try.
Yeah, and
I came close. I didn't pull the trigger on it.
See, I always pull the trigger if I get an opportunity.
It was very expensive.
Yeah, I know.
Of course it's going to be. How are you going to get fresh gator in New Mexico?
We're swimming in gators.
That's right.
but I remember, but you remember the Laughing Farm, I think it was Laughing Sheep Farm. That's what it was.
Right.
It was right outside of Lincoln, New Mexico. Like if you go through Lincoln, like you're heading towards Capitan. And then right outside of Lincoln, before maybe a mile or two outside of the Lincoln proper there.
Right.
I remember we went there once.
And this is a brothel?
It was yes.
Okay.
For snakes.
Right.
But no, it was.
You hear the Laughing Sheep Ranch, I instantly think brothel. Okay, go ahead.
No, they used to serve dinner on Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay.
And I think they've closed up, and that's not happening anymore. But this was years ago. But on Friday, Saturday nights, they would serve exotic meals.
Huh.
And so the one time I went there, I had an antelope burger.
Oh.
And like my wife had elk nachos. They had everybody had. But if we would have come the next night, I was looking at the menu, and rattlesnake was on the menu.
Really?
And I didn't get a chance to try it because I was there Friday night instead of Saturday night.
It sounds like they just have a guy who just sits on the property and just kills whatever he sees move, and they serve that the next Friday and Saturday nights.
Well, God bless the killer and God bless the cook, because both of them knew what they were doing, and that antelope burger was delicious.
Elk nachos is not the serving suggestion I would have made for elk.
Well, that's what they did.
I appreciate it. It's thinking outside of the elk box.
Yeah. Well, they try to take it and make it into things that seem more people friendly, I guess. And that burger was tasty. It was weird seeing, because antelope meat's kind of purpley. So it had a purpley hue in the burger, so it looked a little different.
They're very active. I feel like it would be hard to get good meat off of it.
I think they probably loaded up with fat to make it more.
They fattened up this antelope.
Yeah, they probably have to do that to give it a good taste.
I'm just picturing domesticated antelopes with a pot belly, just lazy.
No, I think they add fat when they grind said meat.
That makes much more sense. They're just sitting there like trying to fog-wah a antelope, just shoving food down its throat.
No. When they grind the meat to make burger meat, they throw a couple hunks of fat in with it and grind it up in there.
I think the weirdest meat I've ever had is buffalo. That's not even that weird.
And buffaloes taste like beef.
It was great. I was expecting it to be like leaner, but it's actually it's a fattier meat. It's really good.
Yeah, buffalo's not bad. I'm trying to think of I've had venison, which I didn't like the first time because my dad prepared it and it was gross.
I've had venison twice and I didn't like it either time because it was super gamey.
Well, the second time, if you've got people that know what they're doing,
it's about how it's
I swear,
clean.
my dad cooked it and it was gross. I had it at a restaurant, and it was actually a place in Ruidoso. It was literally steak and eggs, but it was venison.
Okay.
And oh boy, that was delicious.
Yeah,
that was delicious.
Not gamey at all.
No,
really. See, that's we had a whole.
It's all about how you cook it. If you know what you're doing, that stuff's on point. If you don't, then it's not.
My father-in-law went on a hunt, and he brought back like a side of. I think it was elk. It was elk or antelope. I can't remember which one. But we tried it like one time, and we just ended up giving the rest of the meat to the dogs.
Okay.
It was so bad.
Yeah, it's how it's dressed and how
that's
and how you cook it are the two keys in successfully tasting.
What I've gathered, you have
meat.
to like basically chupacabra the thing. You have to draw all the blood out of the creature.
Yeah. So that's the key. If you get people that know how to dress it, know how to cut it, butcher it, and prepare it, it is delicious. But if you don't know what you're doing in any of those processes, then it's
yeah, it's
but
real
have you had like rabbit or quail or any of those?
I
love those.
So much. So my parents bred rabbits when I was growing up.
Okay,
so we ate rabbit like once a week. I mean, it was constant, and I actually enjoy rabbit.
I do too. I liked it when I had it.
My dad would make gloves. He made my mom a coat one time.
Out of rabbit?
Out of rabbit skin, yeah.
Wow.
It was. That's
a little weird.
It was pretty weird, yeah. It was a very weird gift.
Were all the rabbits like? All the rabbits have the exact same fur. Did it look like a?
No, it was patchwork. It was real patchwork, man.
Did it look fancy?
No, not really.
Or it looked like Grizzly Adams.
It was pretty rough. But she liked it. She wore it like twice.
Out of kindness.
This is way off topic, but or not off topic, but way off. Getting into a wormhole. But I've witnessed my father murder rabbits, and the process to do it is intense.
All right, I want to know that.
I was a kid.
I don't want to know.
I was a kid. I've heard the sound. I've heard the death squeal of a rabbit.
La 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 la. Don't want to hear it. No.
I didn't know rabbits made sounds. They don't until they're being murdered.
I just want the delicious crispy smell. That's all I want. I don't want to know the rest. I don't want the rest of it.
Yeah. You want to talk about some trauma? You don't go behind the shed.
Yeah.
Bad things happen behind the shed.
No. I love fried foods.
There was one tree behind the shed, and the reason that tree was there was for Dad to hang rabbits.
No. I don't want. I just want to eat
by their feet. Morning, America. See, there's a reason I am the way I am. Okay. This does not just happen organically.
I gotta admit, the coat's a little creepy.
Gloves too.
Oh, that's matching. It's an ensemble. I mean, come on. Well, missing just a hat, I guess.
I don't know what night on the town he was planning, but she was gonna be decked out to the nines.
We're going to the zoo.
Hard to think after 17 years of broadcast, pretty much together, that you could find out things you didn't know about me, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of. What happens to said rabbit coat? Is it sitting in your mom's closet somewhere?
I'm sure it's long gone.
Oh, if it's not,
I hope.
Just next time you talk to your mom, put a feeler out.
See if she still has the rabbit skin.
I would like to see if it's still in existence.
All right. I will definitely ask next time I talk to her.
Because I want to get a look at this get up. I want to see it.
It was.
Now, your mom's a tiny lady, so it's not going to fit me.
No. Well, maybe.
Is it big?
Well, I mean, you guys are roughly the same size.
No, your mom's tiny.
I'm way
shrunk,
fatter. Dude. She's shrunk in
I'm way
years.
fatter than your mom.
That's true.
She's a little lady.
That is true. she has like I think that gravity has like taken its toll on her because her spine is compressing. See, she's a lot shorter than she used to be.
Okay.
But she was, I think, at one point 4'10". So I know you're not 4'10". I know.
No.
I know.
I'm way taller.
Yeah, I know. My daughter is literally like 3 inches away from her.
That'll be done by a week. About next week.
Now the way they grow.
Surpass.
Dude, I saw a 12-year-old who was 5'7" the other day.
Wow.
Yeah. Blew my mind. She was like just slightly shorter than me. And she made sure to point out, she's like, I'm taller than everyone here except for you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I got her by an inch.
Yeah. It's the little things that count.
That's right. Hey, that's take your victories where you get them.
Doggone right.
Well, if you're not hankering for rabbit and snake at this point, hey, stick around because we're going to stop talking about that. Actually, Brian Luck, Roswell Independent School District Superintendent, I think he's in the lobby there waiting for us. Going to join us here in just a few minutes, give us an update on what's going on around the school district and recap us from their last school board meeting. Then later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety and whatever else we can come up with. Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Hopefully, nothing crawls into our transmitter this morning and decides to fry
Where
it
is
up.
our transmitter?
Ours for KEND?
For KEND.
If you head on the highway to Ruidoso,
okay,
like you're going to Ruidoso there.
So it's up on like 6 Mile Hill.
Yes.
Okay.
It's on 6 Mile Hill. As you drive out of town towards Ruidoso on 70 there.
Right.
Go about 6 miles, and then on your left, you'll see 2 towers. The lower one is a cell tower. The one farther up the hill is our KEND radio tower. Yeah.
That's weirdly where the other tower I'm familiar with is at. It's like a weird gaggle of towers up there.
Yeah, it's elevation, and they stick them on certain spots.
Sure.
Some surveyor deemed these were places.
All right, snake hunters, you know where to look.
There it is. Very good. It is 8:19. Here's your slithery weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny today. It stays hot with our highs between 100 and 105, although we can't rule out an isolated afternoon thunderstorm around Carlsbad and Artesia. Well, the overnight hours clear, our lows dropping to 70 and windy, and then sunny and hot again on Thursday, upper 90s to around 100. We're expecting mid-90s for the high on Friday and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 83 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity, I didn't scroll up high enough. There it goes. Humidity's at 30%. Winds are currently out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. Another warm one, 103, sunny, hot today. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Shifting to the southeast, or southeast later this afternoon. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 73. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, first time all week, below 100. It's 97 is what they're saying. I mean, it's below, it's better. But yeah, sunny 97 tomorrow. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tomorrow night, overnight low of 72. Southeast winds 10 to 15. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. Friday, sunny and 96. Winds south 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. And then looking at your weekend, sunny and 96 Saturday. And then Sunday, there is some rain chances. And actually, Sunday through, at least through Tuesday of next week, I'm looking at rain chances. A 20% chance of rain Sunday, high of 97. 20% Sunday night. Monday, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain, sunny and 96. And then Tuesday, a 20% chance of rain, sunny and 95. So maybe we'll get some moisture here. Hopefully this isn't telling us there's your monsoon season. Hopefully that's not it yet. But, unless these actually rain, then I'll take it. But hopefully. We'll see. All right. It is 8:21. We're going to take about a minute and a half, 2-minute break here. And then join us on the other side. Brian Luck, Roswell Independent School District Superintendent, will be with us. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
You know, there's something magical about homegrown tomatoes. Watching the plants grow, seeing the blooms pop, and then picking a big, ripe tomato and slicing it up on a sandwich. Hi, this is Jim Gill. Here at Roswell Seed Company, we have some of the prettiest tomato plants that we've ever seen, just waiting for you to make the magic happen. We have some good-looking pepper plants, too, and the geraniums will be coming along soon. So you say tomato, and I'll say tomato. Come and get your plants at Roswell Seed. No, I'm not going to say tomato. Nobody around here says tomato.
No doubt about it, summer is a time for family fun and adventure. And whether it's a drive across the country for an epic vacation or a drive across town for epic ice cream, you have to have a vehicle you can depend on. A vehicle that's comfortable for the whole family and all your gear. That's why you should begin your summer adventures at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, you'll find southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of exceptionally nice pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. All have survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford even gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So where do we get such great pre-owned vehicles? Well, Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks. If you have one you want to sell, we'll make you a cash offer on the spot and give you a week to think about it. Cross town or cross country, get your summer adventures started right with an upgraded ride from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation at the corner of 9th and Main, the official sponsor of summer fun.
In times of uncertainty, one thing seems to be constant. Crime tends to rise. Zenith Security Services, a locally owned company that's invested in our community, reminds you that for less than 5 quarters a day, you can be proactive in protecting your home, family, and assets with a monitored alarm from a top UL-rated company. The hardest calls we receive at Zenith Security are those needing our services after the fact. Call Zenith Security Services at 575-626-3521 to schedule your free security assessment today.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, who, contrary to popular belief, is not off for the summer. Roswell Independent School District Superintendent Brian Luck back with us. Morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Not bad. Not bad.
Now, obviously, you go, but do you get some kind of a summer break at all, Superintendent? You get to go, take a little time to
little bit.
Get out good.
A little bit. Days here and there, that kind of a deal. Lots going on. That's
sure.
Something that little not so much surprising, but just some of the degrees to what's going on,
Gotcha.
Always something.
But at least you get, I got to imagine it, at least you get a chance to take a breath during the summer. And whereas with kids in school, there's usually fires to put out and things going on. Or at least now you're like, okay, we can focus on policy, we can focus on procedure, we can focus on the new, you got time to sit and focus on at your own pace the things that need to be addressed.
The pile of work that's been sitting over on the third desk that you say you're going to get to. And the neat thing about it is like you said, I mean, it does pull down a little bit the pace.
Sure.
But we do have some locations that have a little quasi summer school things going on and some stuff like that. But no, it's it does give you a little bit of a time to reflect and then to plan and get ready for next year.
Yep, and hopefully our teachers and everything are recharging their batteries as we speak. So.
I hope but they definitely deserve it.
Yeah,
they definitely deserve it.
Absolutely here. So, but just because we're in the summer months, the school board and the district does not take time off here, and they've been meeting and they've been working and getting everything done. So just because parents aren't thinking as much about school right now, that these folks are getting everything ready and hoping and doing everything they can to make sure when kids go back here in August, it's going to be business as usual. You know what I mean? Just back to going to school life and what it's supposed to be.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
In this particular meeting, we conducted and wrapped up our 21-22 school year. They a lot of little things, some tedious things that just business of being in business and getting stuff done and finishing up some of our financial things and closing out some of accounts. And, and just being ready to go.
I was going to ask that because if you look at like city council and the county commission right now, they're all kind of finishing up and in budget talks because fiscal year ends. Is that the case for the
Yes,
RSD?
sir.
Do you guys do the exact same style of planning the budget and people are making their cases? We need more money here, and then the board decides whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, and the budget's due to the state by a particular date, and it varies depending on which district that you're in. But we've got to have all that in so that come July 1, whenever our new fiscal year rolls over, that we're ready to go and we can get money out and allotted to the schools so that as the principals come in early, mid-July, and the teachers come in, that all of their budgets are in place and that they can hit the ground running, and that we spend this next year's money on that group of kids.
Sure. Is there anything in this year's budget, at least the way it's looking, that's going to be like unusual extra expense stuff that they may not normally appear in budgets on a? I mean, I don't know if it's like an upgrade thing or a work related, or, because obviously you guys have constantly been. That's been a battle that's been going on for 20 plus years of upgrading and renovating and remodeling schools.
We don't necessarily see anything right now.
Okay.
Tomorrow's always a new day, and you can always get a new challenge. We've been pretty blessed. The people that have come before me, multiple sets of superintendents and business people, and our town in general have always had a fairly conservative approach when it comes to spending, and they've also had a really strong desire to save and plan ahead.
Sure.
So our district is in a good spot as far as being ready to go, and I think we do a pretty good job as far as being ready for things that we didn't know were going to come up.
Sure.
Obviously, if things are really major, that's always going to put a.
Well, it's been 3 years of that.
Yeah,
so.
it's gonna be, well, but then you take a little bit of federal dollars that have been influxed into our budget. Now, granted, you can't spend that money on just anything. I mean, there's some monster stipulations that go with that. But
you're seeing some good things come from that.
We have.
Good.
Our technology is probably about as solid as it's ever been. As far as the newness of the Chromebooks and the technology inside the classrooms, the Promethean boards and the new smart boards, and if there's a need right now, we probably have a way to satisfy that need that would not encompass just general operational funds. So
gotcha.
It's just making sure that we can get the product in. That's one of the things that we're running into. We're working on a couple major projects, and the supply chain is just it's been severely disrupted.
It's the same battle the rest of the world's dealing with right now. Yeah,
it is, and I laugh whenever people tell me that. I say, yeah, but I'm a school and I don't care. We have certain things that we've got to do.
Their students are going to be in this building on this date, whether we have these materials or not.
Right.
I need the materials so we can do our job.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, a testimony to our maintenance department, our the people that order our supplies. We've got a gentleman that just does a phenomenal job, and we talk. He's let me know that there's certain products that we're gonna have some issues with, and
gotcha.
so he's frantically searching the world for these products. Some of it could be as dumb sounding as trash can liners.
Gotcha.
But when you run into things where they say, hey, we're not going to have this product again for 3 months, and you've got a need.
Sure.
It does create a problem.
Let me ask you, do you think we'll get to and this is something that I think parents, when their children are younger, are very aware of this. But when you, especially elementary age, you always say, and usually that first couple weeks of school, they say, bring some Kleenex, bring some hand sanitizer, for the classroom and stuff. Are we at a point where maybe we're going to need to tap into parents at higher levels for some of this kind of stuff? You think just to get a little creative with making sure these needs are met?
No, and it's interesting that you say that, because as a former high school principal, that was one of the things that, I mean, I'd have parents call and say that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I pay my taxes. I can't believe you're asking my kid to bring a Kleenex box.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, you know, there's a little difference between they've asked it for a different reason.
Sure.
It's more of a supply issue versus a financial issue. I mean,
Gotcha.
we've got the funds. Our warehouse.
Well,
is
I just didn't know.
stacked.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you need it, I mean,
No.
we got the money, but if we,
Yeah.
I didn't know if it, you know, because people, I got some here I can bring to you. I didn't know. Do we need to
No.
get creative with our? Because you know, one thing we know about people in Southeast New Mexico is we're good at, you know, rallying and finding resources, and making
Right.
things happen. We want to do that.
No, I think we're in good shape with that.
Good.
I mean, there'll always be certain things that a teacher, you know, some specialty products that a teacher
Yeah.
may ask her students to help out with. But
Sure.
in general, I mean, like I said, we've got pallets and pallets of hand sanitizer.
Good.
And we've got.
I just didn't know if there's something we can get the community helping out with.
No, I think we're good. I
Because we
think
all,
as far as that goes.
that's the kind of stuff, you know, we all living in this world, and
Right.
you know, love, hate, whatever the scenario, we're in it. So let's do everything we can together to make our, and I think one area we can all agree on is, hey, let's make sure our kids are covered before we worry about some other stuff. That's a higher priority to most of us. So
No, and if we do run into things like that, I mean, we'll scour the earth before we have to go out and solicit something like that.
well, if there's any maybe supply and demand people out there that has you know, avenues to this kind of stuff, maybe reach out to the
Sure.
and say, hey, I know a guy.
And that's what's funny is the people that are working inside, you know, the different offices there at Central Office. I mean, they all have connections.
Sure.
You know, the air quote connections.
Yeah.
And you know, we've asked them, you know, don't leave any stone unturned.
Sure.
And you know, don't hesitate to reach out.
Absolutely.
To anybody for additional help. You know, some of the supply chain, even with like the food for our cafeteria. I mean, they were talking last night in one of the presentations that they're, you know, anywhere from 3 to 4 months out on some of these products, and it's just like, you know, then you go back and then they get to the kitchen and they're having to prepare meals or menus weeks in advance. I mean, it's not just as simple as what are we going to cook tomorrow?
Sure.
I mean, these are things.
They like the menus that the kids are going to eat here in August that was planned a year ago.
Yes, sir. Well, and when you think about having to store that type of product,
sure.
And we're pretty blessed with the expansions that we've had up to this point. But as far as being able to store, you know, to buy in bulk so that you can get the product, that's one of the things that we're running into as a potential problem.
You know what, and this is my glass half full ideology here. I kind of look at this as maybe a bit of an opportunity too.
Yes, sir.
And the district has already embraced and started this prior to COVID, but I think this almost gives the ammo to make that program a little harder. And what I'm talking about is that incorporation of local produce, doing the gardens and things at the various schools, getting supply for lunches from local farms and things like that. I think at the end of the day, that's going to be the fix to some of this stuff. And so we've already started planning that, you know, incorporating that in the class. I think what the lesson learned here is we may have to kind of ramp that game up a little bit here in the future. And that's a good thing for me. I think
absolutely.
that's to me that just, it feels like one of those things like, yeah, that should be that way, I think.
It was pretty neat. There were 3 different items that came before last night in action items, and it was food, non-food, and this was all cafeteria related, food, non-food, and produce. And so when one of the parts with the food, there were multiple sets of vendors that were listed in here. And again, a lot of it was because you'll buy this from this particular group, and if they don't have it, then you just kind of keep moving down the list. There were local businesses in there too that some of them were kind of some specialty products. But I know even from being in the building level, you know, your kid walks across with a tray and you can hear him talking and like, you know, well, that's the same chips that we eat at the house or something like that. The one that I loved was whenever we would get our local produce.
Yeah.
And you go past the salad bar and there's, you know, a homegrown watermelon or cantaloupe and And the kids loved it too.
Yeah, I think more of that, get in our future is probably going to be our answer to some of that stuff. And I know I was kind of talking last hour. Last hour we were talking a little bit about younger people and generations. I think COVID and the aftermath of COVID is the lesson learned here is you got to be a little bit resilient, self-reliant on things. And so, we live in a world where everything's delivered to us, catered to us, brought to us. We forget how the sausage is made sometimes. And I think we need to know, we got to get more generations of people understanding how the sausage is made, because at some point you might have to make the sausage. Just saying.
You might. You just might. And it'd be a great business opportunity for you if you could make some of that sausage. Yeah. But the connecting the community with the kids, and then connecting the kids back to where you got it, and as far as being thankful to the people that help produce it, help grow it, help get it to you. It's win-win all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like I said, it's good to see that they kind of saw ahead and were implementing this. And so I would imagine, it's still tough right now what's going through, but because that was already in place, that gives you a resource that maybe had you not, you wouldn't be looking at right now. And that's a good thing.
And you're first in line at that local resource, hopefully, whereas other districts or other entities might be now trying to compete with you. You've got a contract in place with these people, and sure does help.
Sure. And I imagine too, it's sure nice for these farms and ranches to have steady customers that know my crop's going to be sold.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of supply and demand, I've got someone who's already on my demand list here. You know what I mean? And that brings stability to our farmers and ranchers too. Which
by far
we definitely need more of.
Sure.
Unfortunately, more and more people on this planet, less and less people are in that industry. Right. I'm not a math wizard, but I can do that math. There's going to be a problem here when you got more people and less people making the food, and more people needing food. That's going to be a big problem at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
So. Get ready, kids. Pay attention to school, because you're going to be the ones that have to fix this.
You said a lot right there. You said a lot.
Anyway, maybe we'll get it back to local here. Highlights of meetings. What happened to these soapboxes? I got too many of them. Stop giving me soapboxes, people. Let's talk about some highlights from the last meeting we want to make sure we covered.
You know what? Like I said, it was just some end of the year business. We had a few recognitions.
Good.
They came in last night. Valerie Lopez with Maize for Life. She did this program at the college and put our mid-school kids through this, just some life lessons. So DWI, the effects of methamphetamines, different things. Just a wonderful opportunity for our mid-school kids to get out there and just participate and see some of the things that are out there. Mr. Edwards, one of the board members, had made a comment. He said it's a shame that they have to learn this, but it's a very beneficial program. And so she got a little bit of an opportunity to kind of highlight her program. We're going to honor Diane Taylor, Miss Taylor, with the Every 15-Minute program. She wasn't there last night, but wanted to make sure
she does great work with that program.
I've been with that. I've helped participate with that program at the high school level from the ground up, and that is the monster labor of love for the people that get into that.
And it creates such a great visual. I mean, a horrifying visual, but it really does a good job at sinking that message home and doing it. Which, let's face it, it's a creative, unique way that draws attention, but at the same time, it really shows. Look, this is the horror of what happens when you do these things.
Right.
We don't ever want you to be in this, but this is a mock-up. And good news, they're going to get up after the set of this, but this is what it looks like when if this was for real, we would hate to see that. And to share that image in a way that is serious, but at the end of the day is not traumatizing, because right afterwards the person gets up and walks away and you're like, okay, phew. But you know what I'm saying? That's a resonating message that I imagine there's countless kids that maybe have thought twice because they were hanging out and seeing that and saying, you know what, I can wait on this. I don't need to be drinking right now, or I can, I hope that, and I really think it does, because you can't, Scared Street programs, there's great things about those, and sometimes there's some pitfalls here, but when you can really set the example and show someone this is the consequences, and do it in a way that that I don't say scares them, but sinks in the seriousness of the what we're talking about here. But at the same time, no one's hurt at the end of the day, and that's what it's like. This is what could be happen if
you
if
get a
what you
reset.
do- yeah.
So that's one of the only opportunities in life that you get that you can say that did happen, but it wasn't real. And this is, gosh, I'm trying to think. When we were talking, what number program this is that I've seen, as far as being here in Roswell. And I'm guessing that might be the fourth or fifth one that I've witnessed. So when I went over to Roswell High and actually stood on the other side of the crash scene this time, and it never ceases to amaze me the response of the students that are watching this. The first one that I saw, these kids weren't even born whenever I saw the first one, and it was the same response.
Yeah.
The looks on their faces was the same. The students that participate in it, their attitude, their mindset is before it gets ready to start, it's kind of I don't want to say like a jovial, but there's a little bit of a joking that goes around.
Sure, they're playing pretend, so
they're
there's
kids.
There's a funness to it.
They're kids, and then when they get them out to the crash, and they actually take the victims that are in the crash and they put them out and they stage them. It
starts sinking in.
It immediately changes things, and then they go down. They go through the jail. Then they end up over at the funeral home, and that one was probably one of the most powerful ones that I remember witnessing. And the kids come out of the back of Anderson Bethany, and they've been talking with the director and different things, and they bring it up and they say, hey, we're gonna let y'all sit in the sanctuary in here in the big room, so that you guys had a long day so far. We're just gonna kind of let you decompress. And then they walk them in there, and they bring them in the back, and it's one of them's funeral. And you've got a parent sitting up there, or you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and they're up speaking about it, and it just when you say hammers home a message, it's powerful. So we wanted to make sure that Miss Taylor and her organization got the recognition that they deserve. I think we'll probably get her back, because I know Diane would probably like to say a few words to the group, and so we'll make sure that
people
we get them in there.
She has a passion for this, and
huge,
so it's
huge.
It's
Huge.
awesome.
Fact is, her group was actually at the Maze for Life program too, doing a spot there against DWI. So she tied into multiple places there. Some informational items just kind of came in and just went through a couple questions that had been asked. One of the things that came up is our school resource officers. So we had, I don't want to say we had lost, because we had some changing in status with our resource officers. A couple of them had been promoted. We had one, I think, that had retired. So over the course of the last few years, we have not had a resource officer in any of the schools, and we're getting it back. So,
Gotcha.
With the city police, and thank you to them. They were able to get staffed up to the point that they could help us offer that again. So we've got 2 officers that hopefully will be joining us
here in the fall.
And fact is, we've got their spots already saved for the National Association of School Resource Officers convention that happens in July. So we're really excited about that.
Unfortunately, I think the events in Uvalde here, it's happened over the last couple months, or last month here, is kind of, I'm sure every school district in the country look at that and say, are we doing enough on our end?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure RSD is no different. They're
no different.
Yeah.
The biggest, and it's interesting, so that you've got 2 people that are going to be assigned, various parts of the city, or various different schools in the city. And one of the things that I would like to reiterate, that one of the biggest benefits of a resource officer is prevention. And it's not so much that I have somebody with a weapon, or somebody that has the radio that can get me, back up immediately, as much as it is the relationships that those officers build with the kids and the staff.
Absolutely.
And the parents. It's an immediate, I know that person, and I trust that one, and I'm going to go ask them what they think about this.
And people are going to be more apt to want to communicate with said person when something goes wrong, because there is a relationship of trust. They know that they're there for the good things, and so they feel comfortable in saying, "Hey, I heard something's going on here. Can you please check it out?"
Well, and I've been very fortunate. I mean, I've been surrounded by probably one of the best school resource officers that's ever come through the system, and I watched that officer work. And just, as a student or a parent would come up and they would say things, you could see the mind, that mind of that officer working without actually having to ask a lot of questions. And it was good because it was just a good trusting relationship. Sure. And then too, you have somebody to get solid advice from, as far as to the letter of the law. What does the law say for this? What does the law say for that?
You've got an expert in the room at all times.
You've got that. And then too, I go back to like the ability to find out information immediately. So something happens right now, we're kind of at a loss as far as who to call. If something goes down with the police, they're busy. They're working. They're figuring something out.
Sure.
We get a lockdown alert from dispatch. Our first thing is we lock something down, and then we start asking questions. And there might be a little bit of a delay or a lag just because we're probably not. Calling the superintendent and saying, "Hey, this is what we got going on in that area," is probably not the first priority.
Sure. There's someone lower on the chain that needs to get that information first.
Well, and again, it's secure up the area and make sure the kids are good. So we're just really happy that we've got that back. And again, thank you again to the police and
absolutely
and to the recruiting efforts to get their numbers up a little bit higher.
Absolutely.
So that we have that opportunity.
And by the way, if you're looking for careers, I know the Sheriff's Department and the Roswell Police Department are both still looking for qualified individuals to be a part of that. So if you got the integrity and the desire to serve our community, please reach out to the Roswell Police, or I'm sure state police. Every law enforcement entity in our area is probably looking for more officers.
I think you just nailed it with anybody that employs.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking. Kind of on that note, we are still hiring. We have a really cool program called Ed Fellows that we've got a real big media blitz going on right now, and it's for our associates, and it's taking somebody that has not just a little bit of experience, but taking somebody that might not have the ability to stop working and go back to school. There's a program that we've got now that would help pay for all of that for them.
Great.
And that's so there's an ad in the paper. We've got it out on our website. Anybody interested in something like that?
Absolutely. Let's invest in you while you giving back to the community. That's it's a win-win for everybody there. And I'm guessing when for you guys it works because obviously it's the qualifications, but you're also when you invest in those people are probably going to be more giving, like appreciative of what they've got, and they're going to be more engaged as teachers. I'm trying to put this in a way that's like, because it's not that every teacher's not engaged, they are, but when someone helped you tend to be a little bit more. Loyal's not the right word. Like you just feel like you owe more, and you work harder because you're like, look, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I got to bust my tail, and so there's always that driving force in the back of their heads, and so that always puts out good results, I think. So
what's interesting with this one is, and it almost, I don't want to say works in reverse, but these are the people that have been with us for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They have stuck it out. They have come in. They have done the lion's share of a lot of the work. They just didn't have maybe necessarily the personal situation that would afford them the chance to go back to school.
Sure.
So this group has already demonstrated by tenfold. So now it's actually our opportunity really to give back to them.
Okay.
So it's but it's again.
But at the end of the day, it's putting their springboard for where they can grow their own personal lives.
You bet.
They can, now earn more income.
Yes.
Better. If they have aspirations for promotions to higher levels within the district, this sets the table for all of that. So.
Oh, and it's win all the way around. You've got people that want to be in the building, and you can actually get them back paid up to a level that they need to be paid to. So again, win all the way.
Well, and I'm sure you would agree on this, and I know it's the easy Facebook thing, but yeah, we live in a world where the hardest working people on the planet get paid the least amount of money sometimes, and we live in a world. I mean, it's the world we live in because that's what people pay for, and that's where the money goes. But yeah, you see people on TV playing basketball and football and baseball making hundreds of millions of dollars. And you busted your hump to educate kids, paid a bunch of money to go get your degree and all that, and here you're like, oh, I got $50,000 a year, you know what I mean, or whatever that number is. It's just that's a societal thing. You look like, our priorities are screwed up, but follow the money. Unfortunately, until you get people to pay millions of dollars to watch a classroom, you're not going to get. It's just money and where the money goes. But that doesn't mean we can't, say, hey, you're a professional. You need to be paid like a professional. And I would even go one further. And this is more of a we society thing. You need to treat these people like professionals too. And I know we as parents, and I get it. Parents are defending their kid and they want to do all that, but you got to give the person that spends almost as much time with your child as you do that respect and that understanding. And once you do, you're going to see things from their perspective, and together now you're a partnership making that child better instead of being adversarial. Just my advice to parents out there. It's like, work with your teachers. Don't come in there like you're ready to accuse them of what are you doing wrong. It's like, what can we do together to get this thing? And if you have that mindset, you're going to find out your teacher's probably pretty good. And they're going to help you.
It's interesting that you said that, because I wasn't real sure. It's been a year in the job, and I was not real sure how the general, when a parent would get to me at my level, what type of situation we would be at. Kind of, is it like you said? Is it that the teacher's always wrong, or is it And what I've actually found is I would probably say 80-20 the other way.
Okay, good.
That a lot of our parents,
it's just the smaller percentage is a lot louder.
Probably, and that's unfortunately. I mean, that's usually the one that you're going to remember.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Probably not the one that comes in and says, "Hey, I get it. Now, what can we do to fix this?" That kind of a deal. So,
absolutely. But just put it in your back. I'm just saying. I see people, and this is just personal. I know I'm getting way off topic, but if you're one of those people that always seems to be in a battle with somebody, an argument is, I'm just saying, if you're always in those situations with multiple different people, the common denominator might be you. I'm just saying, what are you putting out there that's causing this? I get it. You come across people who disagree with you. I get that. But if you have a lot more than most, maybe you're the problem. I'm just saying.
a little bit of patience and compassion can go a long way.
Absolutely,
long way.
All right, let's bring it on top. Anything else you want to mention here before we wrap up?
Yeah, just real quick. We had one other big item that we did go through last night, and this was really big. Was we bought the land? Or we let me backtrack. The board agreed to move forward with purchasing the land that sits directly behind Mesa Middle School.
Okay,
and this was a piece of property that was owned by the state, and it was just the monster collaborative effort from county officials to city officials, Mayor Jennings, Will Cavan, Mac Rogers.
Red Tape City, huh?
What the cool part about it was our construction manager, Jeremy Sanchez, jumped on this and started working, and he went up through the process, and it actually ended up with the governor, and just what can happen for the kids when people work together. It was really a neat process to be a part of. It was.
Did the state ever have any plans for that land, or they just end up with it for whatever reason?
My understanding is that they did have some plans for the land. Okay. And that by us coming in and actually purchasing the land, that it provides them the resource to move forward. And I'll let the mayor talk about a little bit about that whenever he gets in here with you.
He'll be in next month. He was just in last week.
But again, just thank you to the parties that were involved. Now, that being said, we have not decided.
I was going to say, you guys have a plan yet for what you want to do?
Well, we have not decided, because I say we. There are 5 duly elected people that will decide if that's going to be the side of Nancy Lopez, or if we're going to rebuild Nancy Lopez where it's at.
Okay,
that's their job. That's not mine. My job with everybody else is.
But now they got the option too.
We have the ability now to put the plan. Sure. To put a plan in place so that they go, okay, do we want to do this, or do we want to do this? And that was one of our sticking points with the early design phase. Had it where it's at, or on a part of the property that Mesa currently sits on.
Gotcha.
And that was a little bit of a sticking point, because it did shrink a little bit of the footprint.
How like, say you did move.
Okay.
And how big of an impact logistically would that be, moving everybody around to make sure numbers are good to go? Would that be a monumental thing, or is it a relatively easy shift?
As far as moving it over to the other
school numbers, because obviously if a building moves, that's going to maybe change the lines on where a kid goes to school based on where they live. How impact, is that a big impact? Is that no impact? Is it a little impact?
Well, it's interesting that you say that. We went through the process, and we're still in the middle of it with the board school board boundaries.
Gotcha.
Okay, now that's just the school board part. And I learned a ton with the company that came in. We had some public sessions in all 4 of the wards.
Sure.
All 5 of the school board boundaries. And there's a lot that goes to that. Now, if we were to take Nancy Lopez from where it's currently at and move it basically across the street and over, I don't believe that's going to have the impact that
I would think not, but
would say changing the boundaries. Now, as we move forward and if things progress, you've got some subdivisions that potentially could pop up and actually then go populate in those subdivisions with school-age children. You've got some apartment complexes. There's lots of different factors that come in here at that point in time.
Yeah.
You'd have to look. You'd have to step back and you'd have to say, okay, so our capacity at this building is this. Our capacity at this building is that. Then obviously you start looking.
Gotcha.
That is the monster of all kisses of death for superintendents.
So it could be a can of worms.
If our town were to pop up and just start growing, which a lot of people would like to see that.
Yeah.
Those are good problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this means these are all problems of cities that are growing and expanding and getting bigger and better. And Roswell knows the converse of this when they closed the base in the 60s, and this is much better to have than that version.
Well, and I say, unfortunate or fortunate, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
There's still enough of a population base that's here at multiple different generations because I've heard that my whole life. I was not here when that happened. I wasn't around when that happened, but I've been told multiple times. I had grandparents that were affected by it, parents that were affected by it. So that resonates.
Yeah.
And you're very apprehensive and cautious about that. So
yeah, it's we got to go, but me growing up in the DC area and all that, everyone works for the government, so it was really hard for me to understand that philosophy till I left the DC area, moved here, and seeing what life is like in a town that isn't relying on the federal government for everything. And it's just an interesting perspective there. So,
very different.
Yeah. Again, you can go back and check out the school board meetings things. Go to the Roswell Independent School District page. You'll find a link right there to videos for school board meetings and many other things through the district as well, too. So,
you bet.
Highly recommend that. Of course, if you have questions about who your school board member is or any of that stuff, you'll find all of that at the website there.
And very helpful. We haven't moved anything. We haven't taken anything down yet. So, but we're very much looking forward to the next school year already.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll see you next time. And try to get some downtime here before the kids get back.
Yes, sir.
All right, 8:59. Quick break before news. Don't go away.
Make your home a smart home with smart home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today, 575-755-1000, or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get smart home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A bill extending police protection to the families of Supreme Court justices has cleared the House. It's on its way to President Biden's desk. 396 to 27, the vote with unanimous Republican support. The white gunman who killed 10 black people in an attack in a Buffalo supermarket is now facing federal hate crimes charges. The Justice Department looking into recent arson attacks against pro-life offices and crisis pregnancy centers.
Several pro-life facilities have been targeted in recent weeks following a leaked draft opinion that suggests the U.S. Supreme Court is poised to overturn Roe v. Wade. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Justice Department officials are looking into the matter.
They've taken that very seriously. We have seen an uptick of that type of arson and bombing and or attempt to bomb.
Tensions have been running high on both sides ahead of the Supreme Court's expected ruling. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Retail sales tumbled 0.3% last month. A sizable Fed interest rate hike, 0.75 point, expected to be announced later today. President Biden demanding that refineries produce more gasoline and diesel fuel to put a dent in skyrocketing prices at the pump. Critics blame Biden energy policy throttling oil and gas exploration and production for the surge in gas prices, now averaging just above $5 a gallon. Five-term Republican Congressman Tom Rice has lost his primary race in South Carolina. He tells WPDE,
I'd hoped that the situation would be reversed, but again, this seat doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the voters.
Rice, who voted yes on impeachment of President Trump, lost to State Representative Russell Fry, who was endorsed by Mr. Trump. Watching Wall Street, stocks are higher this morning. The Dow's up 226 points, the Nasdaq ahead 159, and the S&P is up 37 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and start getting cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code SALEM for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. That's promo code SALEM. Remember, use promo code SALEM for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up.
Israel, the European Union, and Egypt signing a provisional deal for the export of natural gas.
The Memorandum of Understanding, which has been signed in Cairo, is the latest move by the EU to try to end its reliance on gas supplies from Russia as the war in Ukraine continues. EU officials have described this dependence as allowing Moscow to practice a form of blackmail over Europe. The deal signed with Israel and Egypt would see a significant increase in the amount of Israeli natural gas exported to Egypt, so that it can be liquefied there and then sent on to European markets.
The BBC's Sebastian Usher. Protests have been erupting in many Indian cities to condemn the demolition of homes and businesses belonging to Muslims, what critics call a growing pattern of bulldozer justice aimed at punishing activists from the minority group. Officials say the demolitions only target illegal buildings, but rights groups and critics say they're an attempt to harass and marginalize Muslims. Townhall.com. Russian dissident and leading Putin foe Alexei Navalny has gone missing.
Allies of the imprisoned opposition politician sounded the alarm when they discovered he was no longer in the prison where he'd been serving his time, and there was no word on his whereabouts. Late in the day, the chairman of a prison monitoring commission said Navalny had been transferred to a maximum security prison located nearby. Prison transfers in Russia sometimes take days and are shrouded in secrecy. Navalny is the most determined political foe of Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the lack of information about his whereabouts alarmed his allies. His spokeswoman said his close associates had not been able to independently confirm the transfer. Keith Peters reporting.
The South Texas congressional seat has been in Democrat hands for decades, is going Republican. Maya Flores has won a special election in the 34th congressional district, becoming the first Mexican-born U.S. congresswoman. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. It is, I know. I just wanted to drag out the after for fun.
Nice.
I do that
Like
sometimes.
17 hours.
I do it for fun.
After.
I don't know. I just like doing it. I don't know why.
It's for funsies.
It's fun in my head.
Yeah.
It's what I get to do.
It's okay, full pullback of the curtain for those who talk for a living.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of it helps. We drag out words when we're trying to work other things, look at other things, pull other things up. I can't tell you how many words I've drug out over the years.
Yeah, I did too.
Unnecessarily.
I was dragging my words to start the show because of the snake thing, and and then I remembered I forgot to get Gene's thing set up, so I started trying to do that in the middle of it, and my music's going, and I'm like, I got to be on air, but I got to get that because it's seconds away from doing it.
It's real hard to have the brain work the mouth and the brain also work the hands at the same time. It's very difficult.
I was playing a little, doing three things at once at the start of the show, and I did it poorly.
No, the fact that you made it happen. I was listening. I was on my way to work when that was happening. The fact that you made it happen, that was...
Yeah, well, I screwed up. I think that ended a little bit. But anyway, if you want to see the snake, there's pics on our Facebook page.
Yes.
I shared them earlier.
We were just debating of the kind of snake, of the type of snake it was.
We came to the conclusion it's dead. That's the snake type of snake it is. But and I was joking earlier because if this is all in a group text. It started early this morning with this pic and then the comments. What happened? This and that. And we went back and I started reading some of the questions I didn't get a chance to read earlier because I was busy doing other things and I just get the triage details and didn't get the semantics. And I started seeing snake, like, how'd the snake get in? I'm like, it took the bus. How do you think it got in? It snuck into a thing.
It checked in at the door.
Like, what kind of snake is it? The kind that gets sneaking in and dies?
Apparently one with opposable thumbs that can work a doorknob.
Is it really relevant at this point what kind of snake it is? I don't know. It's a dead one.
So my theory on that, and I don't know this for sure because I don't know Thomas's schedule. He was probably just waking up and seeing pictures of a snake, and those were the first questions that popped into his head.
Yeah, it was just funny. It's like, how to get in? I'm like, it took the bus. How do you think it got in?
Well, that's how I got to the site. How to get in has opposable thumbs, so it can work a doorknob.
It's a building in the middle of the desert that is an old building.
Yeah, there's holes. I mean, it's ventilated.
It's
so
a solid structure. It's air conditioned because
it has to be.
Well, and pull back the curtain some more. It's not one building with our transmitter in it.
Right.
It is a building. It's probably about twice the size of this studio, and it's got a 1,000-foot tower sitting on top of it or next to it, whatever, or over it, and in said building there is our KTZA transmitter, which is the brand,
right.
KPZE, which is our Spanish station, Faro. Its transmitter also resides there. But wait, there's more. You may be familiar with the TV station KOAT. Their translators, all of that stuff are in that building. Fox, the Fox translators for, was it KSY or I don't know their call letters, whatever it is.
CASA. I don't know. It's CASA in Albuquerque. I don't know what it is down here.
Yeah, whatever it is, their translators reside there as well. So it's a building that's got multiple media entities in it, but it's a building in the middle of nowhere out in the desert there.
So I argue that snake had a vendetta.
Well, I think
it went after our station.
Well, in my head, I don't go to the tower very often, but the last time I was out there, if I remember right, when you go through the main door, if it took the front door,
right,
the first transmitter it would run into is the KTZ one.
Mike, let me believe. Okay? Let me believe that snake was a huge fan of our competition and decided that the only way it was going to see their station win was to sacrifice itself for the good of radio.
Well, there's no way to compete against KOAT. The other one's ours, so...
Huge fan of Spanish music. Didn't want to mess with that.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, and this is really peeling back the curtain. The tower, it's a 1,000-foot tower, and it used to be owned by KOAT.
Right.
They owned it, or the company, the parent company that owns KOAT. And we would lease space off them for years, 15, 20 years at least. I don't know. But about 8, 9 years ago, they were trying to unload some assets and things, so they sold it to us.
Picked it up for a song.
But they still need the thing. So now the tables have turned.
That's right. They rent from us.
We own the building, and they pay rent. Now you say, "Oh, good for you guys." I'm like, but we got to maintain it. We got to build. You know. By the way, you ever bought a radio tower that's 1,000 foot tall? They're not cheap.
They're not.
Oh, and by the way, it costs like $40,000 to paint them. It costs like
not to mention
the electric bill on them is like crazy expensive. Yeah, they're not cheap.
I have seen it's almost like clockwork. Every time this time of year comes up, you just see air conditioners fail all around the city.
Yeah.
You see, like, this is big time for HVAC people, and I mean the fact that we are able to keep that place cool in 108 degrees that it was yesterday.
Well, and you mentioned something earlier that I was going to be like, well, you talk about just putting a camera in there. I will tell you this. And this is where I'm getting a little inside baseball, but I think you guys would like this enough. One of the rules for being an FCC licensed radio station is you have to be in control of your transmitter at all times, which means at any given moment, if someone walked in and said, shut off your transmitter, you can do that without it taking a massive act of Congress to do it. And short of driving out, and depending on where you're at, if you're here, it's going to be a 45-minute drive to our tower site in Artesia. That's not practical.
Right.
So each transmitter has what's called a remote control unit. And most of them are operated via phone. So you call in, and then you can adjust settings, move it, turn it on, turn it off, do what you got to do. By law, you have to be in control of that.
Sure.
And believe it or not, people take readings every day for these things and all that. But anyway, but that generally requires internet for us to keep, for the remote control unit to work and everything. It requires because there's no phones out there. By the way, if we wanted to put a phone, this is back in the day, like a run a hard phone line, it's like $100,000. We're like, so cell towers kind of change that need, but there's not a lot of. It's the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So we basically the same kind of internet, like Verizon little laptop or little shark fin internets that we use on remotes and stuff. We have sitting out there just so we can
access
our phone thing. So to have a 24/7 cam on a place that's got spotty internet.
I'm just saying we would. I'm not saying we would have to adjust.
It might be a logistical nightmare.
I'm not saying we wouldn't have to adjust the up the internet out there. I'm just saying it's possible.
It is. It's possible, but it would be intermittent, I think, just because.
Plausible? Nah. Possible. Oh yeah.
But it's one of those things. We live in New Mexico in the desert, so you get outside of your towns here, and it's the Wild West, man. It's the environment's tough, man. It's all this dirt and weeds and scorpions and all that stuff.
The supermoon. I blame the supermoon. It was yesterday. It was last night.
Yeah, I'm just guessing it got down in the
Snake
70?
got scared. It was too bright out. Like, I got to get out of this light.
And snakes are cold-blooded animals, so they get warmed by external sources. That's why when it's hot, they go sit on a rock.
This is what confuses me.
Yeah.
I know that it gets cold in New Mexico at night. Snakes burrow. There's a reason snakes burrow. Well, they burrow underground in the summertime because it's warmer. The soil underneath it maintains the heat from the day, so they burrow under. So this is just a dumb snake, basically.
Could be.
It's just a snake that didn't know how to snake.
My guess is maybe it was tracking a mouse and it followed the mouse into the building, and I don't know. That's or whatever.
So now we have to wonder what the mouse did. It's a joke.
Where'd it go?
Yeah. What's happening with the mouse?
Like, did the snake eat the mouse and then said, "Oh, what's this?"
The mind wanders with possibilities.
We're scheduled to have the folks in the chamber join us. I don't think anybody's here yet, so we'll give them a few minutes. Did I get any text stating such? No, it's pretty quiet there. I got a lot of text, but not related to that. So we'll give them a few minutes. Maybe I'll play something if I don't have any. I don't know. We'll see. Well, you ain't got a show going on.
Yeah, you got nothing happening. Fair enough.
I'm just trying to think. Do I got enough to talk about for 45? I mean, that's of interest. I got plenty to talk about, but would people care? That's the other part of it. I'll talk all day.
Yeah.
But do people care? That's the other thing. But hopefully Andrew and them will join us here in a few.
I'm sure.
And,
somebody will.
And maybe I'll let's do it together, shall we?
Let's do this in real time.
Let's do this together.
Do you have a live read I could do while you're doing this in real time?
Oh, yeah. Where's my Sun State?
Yeah.
Right
Hit me up with some Sun State.
I got it
Give me some
right
of that,
here.
some of that tech goodness.
Gosh, I got to get organized. I just got a pile of papers, and I just keep stuffing more papers.
Well, I love the fact that it's 2 folders, but now those 2 folders have amalgamated to where well, some of them are live reads, some of them are PSAs.
It's just, I need
They're
to
all mixed up.
throw all this out and start over is what I need to do. Give her another little...
oh, yeah, there's stuff in there from the Trump administration.
There's stuff in there from the Obama administration.
We've pushed the boundaries of how wide a manila folder actually gets.
My goodness, where'd it go? It got buried in... I've had it a bunch in the last day, and it seems to have gotten buried in there. Ah, here we go.
There we go.
There's what I'm looking for.
We were looking...
Asking you,
this bad boy right here, because let me take a second to tell you about the Sun State Technology Group, because the fact of the matter is there's no timeouts when it comes to your business. And right now, with the game more challenging than ever, it's time to make the play for better, more reliable technology. And that's why Sun State Tech is here for you. They are your local IT solutions company. They provide protection and upgrades to keep your business doing the best business and on top of its game. Get managed IT services and cybersecurity all delivered by the hometown experts at Sun State Tech. Visit sunstatetech.com today for your free, no-obligation tech checkup. That's sunstatetech.com.
I like the term tech checkup.
Tech checkup. It's fun.
Does seem like a tech checkup.
I'm going to get a quick tech checkup.
Because it could go in 2
From the neck
directions. Like you can do a checkup on your technology. Or you can use technology to do a checkup on yourself.
To check up on yourself, which I would not recommend. That's
No.
Googling your symptoms, and that's never good.
Yeah.
No good has ever come from Googling, what is this thing on my arm?
I always, I think WebMD could possibly be one of the most dangerous websites on the entire internet. Because it gives information on many things.
It's unfettered power is what it is.
But you spend an hour on there and you think you've got 37 diseases by the time you're done.
No, absolutely. 16 kinds of cancers.
Yeah.
And then I just had the one.
What did you do today? I went on WebMD and I found out I got lupus. and possibly scurvy.
I just thought I had a rash. Weirdest thing.
Yeah, that was that's the one thing about that I never got. I don't know, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those people that's like a head in the sand a little bit on. I think you are too.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's for my own good. I avoid the world around me because the world around me is ugly.
Well, it's a horrible way to live, but it is easier.
Yeah, it's a much simpler existence.
Don't do my example.
I recommend it. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice here.
I know. It's just when you get older, you got to pay attention, and if you don't, it'll catch up to you.
Yeah, stuff comes up from out of left field and stuff. Sometimes you get a snake in your transmitter. Who knows?
Yeah. You always wonder, like you think of 150 years ago. Do you think they're even knowing what diabetes is at that point? Or they
no, they was something else. They called it the sugars or something like that.
Yeah, but do they know that hey, this guy eats licorice all the time? That's why he's do they even know? And granted,
you have to remember they were bloodletting and using leeches up until the 1880s.
But also, I would argue too, their diet was probably way more authentic than our diet. And what I mean by that
not as many preservatives.
Yeah, none of that. They find an animal out doing animal things, and they go kill it and eat it. They grow some crops. They weren't out there, with their tractors. It's like soil. Let's put some poop on it. Let's do our thing, and au natural. And so I'm wondering, maybe their food tastes better. I wonder if Billy the Kid came to us today and ate a BLT. Would he look at it like this is delicious, or there's no taste?
There's no flavor. The argument. Okay, so the one that I know of is the banana. So if you've ever had a banana runts candy or any kind of banana flavored candy, I've heard it said that the banana flavoring they use is what bananas used to taste like back in the 40s, 50s back then. That we've completely used up that species of banana. It's no longer exists. And now it's a completely different banana that we're actually eating. Yeah. So it's not the same as the ones from back in the day. So I don't know what truth there is to that, but that's how I hear it. Say again?
Before it was domesticated?
Yeah, before it was, brought home and potty trained. Mm-hmm.
That's bananas.
Or is it plantain flavor secretly?
See, I don't know. I've never had a plantain.
I've never had a plantain.
I have, to be honest, I haven't either, but I've been seeing them all in the grocery store lately, and I've been idly, because I don't like bananas, but
they just look like bad bananas to me.
Well, they're bigger.
They're browner a little bit.
They're a little less bright yellow. They're usually larger in size, but they look like bananas.
I've heard they're not the same like consistency. They're
and
not
that's where
soft.
I always hear them as a starch, like a like in like generally it's usually like Caribbean cooking. You'll see plantain used a lot or something, but it's always like a side dish, like served as like a potato.
Yeah, usually
or
savory.
something like that. Yeah. So that's what makes me wonder, does it taste like a banana? And see, I don't like bananas. Maybe we just got to bust out a plant. But I also hear that you don't eat plantains raw either, like a banana.
Yeah.
Like you need to cook them or do something to them. They're not
So
good
you
to
wouldn't
eat raw.
You wouldn't have the Elvis sandwich, the peanut butter and bananas.
I mean, you can. It's not going to kill you, but I hear it doesn't taste good.
Let's
Maybe I'm
find
wrong
out.
on that too. But I think you don't eat plantains raw. That's not generally accepted way to do. You got to prepare them with some cooking, I think.
So did you know that the gout used to be called the rich person's disease?
I've heard that, yeah.
The fact that you call it the gout.
The gout.
Or gout, whatever.
Yeah, it's just gout. But like I said, I was on the internets the other day, and then I got the gout.
Because I got a bad case of the gout.
So thanks to the Google, I can tell you that plantains are inedible raw and should be eaten only after cooking.
See,
There
my
you go.
brain did store something.
Yeah.
How did I cut myself? Why am I bleeding?
Why am I bleeding? That's a question I've asked myself numerous times in my adult life.
Thank you. I just looked up and saw it. I was like, why am I bleeding?
Just mystery blood. Sometimes it happens. This show's off the rails, by the way. See, you put a snake in our transmitter room and things go crazy.
Yeah, well, maybe that was a guest. I heard the phone ring, and maybe that's our guest, which will put us back
on track,
semi on the rails
There you
here.
go.
So, but yeah, so there you go. I kind of didn't think you could eat plantains raw. I think it's. I didn't know it.
They say it's inedible.
Okay.
I feel
Inedible is like it's going to hurt you or just gross.
I think it's probably just gross. I feel like I could challenge the system.
Well,
I'm not saying I want to eat a raw plantain.
There's one way to do that.
That's true. I guess maybe this is our next stunt. I don't know if it's not chewable. Maybe it's like a different consistency. I don't know. Hopefully on the phone right now is a plantain expert that's explaining to us all he's been on the phone for a while, so I don't think it's our guest.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. So I'm I don't know. You know what? Maybe we should do that.
Just bring a plantain.
But I want to add to it. I would like to find someone that likes and cooks with plantains and can present us a way a plantain should be eaten.
So like
I would like to see and if you want to eat one raw, I'm not going to stop
in
you.
its
I'm
raw
not going to
form
encourage
versus like in a dish.
But I would like to see it in a like if someone said to me, "This is the way you should eat plantains." I want to see it. Is it fried? Is it some kind of pan seared? Do you bake it? Do you cut up and put it in a soup? What are we talking?
Well, according to this, plantains can be prepared in numerous ways, and their flavor ranges from savory to sweet, depending upon the ripeness. Green, unripe plantains are savory, while yellow, black, ripe plantains are quite sweet.
Okay, so I'm guessing there's a good tip. If you go to the store and you're wanting to make savory dishes, look for the green plantains.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something more sweet, a dessert, then the more yellow or darker black ones.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, is that true in banana form too? Or green banana is not good for anything?
I've heard, well, green bananas are fine. I mean, it just doesn't, it's not as sweet or as soft. Personally, I kind of like a little bit of a green banana because it's got a bit of a snap to it.
Okay.
So I kind of like a little bit of a green banana.
See, I don't like any, so this is not my world. I take it that wasn't related to our guest?
No.
All right. Were they complaining?
Yeah, just someone called in to check on the weather.
I said, are they complaining? Yeah. Not the way to start that answer. Yeah. Someone's checking on the weather?
Yeah.
Someone's hot?
Hot.
They wanted to see Friday and Saturday.
Oh, still hot.
Hot.
Ow.
Also hot. Not as hot, but still also hot.
All right.
The wind is south, for anyone who's wondering.
That was that was a caller basically saying, get on with the weather.
Yeah, I probably should do the weather. All right. I've not heard from our guest, so I don't know. I did send a text. All right, let's do this. It is 9:26. Let's do the weather. And anybody got to deal with the plantains? Reach out to us. I'm serious. I'm going to try one. I would like to see. I don't like bananas. So I'm curious to see if maybe I like a plantain in a savory form.
Inquiring minds want to know.
There you go. All right, 9:26. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny today. It stays hot with our highs between 100 and 105, although we can't rule out an isolated afternoon thunderstorm around Carlsbad and Artesia. Well, the overnight hours clear, our lows dropping to 70 and windy, and then sunny and hot again on Thursday, upper 90s to around 100. We're expecting mid-90s for the high on Friday and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 86 degrees here in Roswell at 9:27 in the a.m. Humidity is at 21% with winds out of the east. Thank you, Sean. At 6 miles per hour. Nurse Sean got me a Band-Aid, so he's on it. Oh, no, we're doing it. Oh, yeah, I just
This is live radio at its finest,
I'm
folks.
putting a Band-Aid on while doing the weather. Today, looking at sunny skies, a high of 103. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. They will shift to the southeast later in the day. Look for that. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 73. Winds out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny, high of 97, below 100 tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
That's progress.
That's practically spring-like.
That's right.
It's still spring.
Yeah. Technically, isn't it?
Until like the 20th.
Oh, jeez. So 97 tomorrow, southeast winds 5 to 15. Thursday night, clear with an overnight low of 72, southeast winds 10 to 15. Friday, another day in the upper 90s. Friday, 96 and sunny with south winds 5 to 10 early, picking up 15 to 20 for the afternoon. So a little breezy for the afternoon. Clear Friday night with an overnight low of 70. And then for the weekend, Saturday, much like Friday, sunny 96 for a high. And then for Sunday and for the next couple days after that, rain chances. 20% chance of rain Sunday. Your Juneteenth for those on that's the day. Juneteenth is the official day on Sunday. Sunny and hot, high of 97 with that 20% chance of rain. 20% chance of rain Sunday night as well. Monday, 20% chance of rain, mostly sunny, 96. 20% chance of rain Monday night, and a 20% chance of rain, highs around 95 on Tuesday as well. So
That's actually, that's manageable.
We'll see.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I don't know why 100 degrees makes such a difference. It's literally just a couple of degrees.
It's a mental threshold. Because, at least like 9s are, at least it's not triple digits.
Well, it's almost like the weather's playing jokes on me right before it knows I'm about to leave town to 130 degrees.
Wait, maybe it's prepping you.
Well, I feel like this week has been prepping me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because I've been dying this week.
Yeah.
Also, like not using my air conditioner as much in my car to conserve gas. So yeah, it's been fun. I found parts of me that I didn't even know could sweat.
Hey.
Yeah.
Bonus.
That's right.
Turn in that gym membership. You got your own sauna right in the car.
Oh, true.
Get the sauna.
I should probably use that thing. I've used it twice.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You care about
I've been a member
fitness.
since 2021, I believe.
Yeah, I don't believe in physical fitness. I'm just kidding.
I don't necessarily believe in it, but
Yeah.
it's, I feel like I have to do something.
Right.
Otherwise I'm going to, waste away.
That's right. That's what I'm going to do. Waste away. I'm going to be like that dude in Monty Python. It's waff within. One more, please. Pop.
The creosote man.
But it's waff within.
It's waff within.
Poof. All right, it is 9:30. Let's take a break. I don't think our guest is coming.
I'm guessing no.
No. And I sent a text, but I haven't heard back. Must be busy.
Mm-hmm.
It is 9:30. Let's do a quick break for some commercials. We'll go ahead and do the news and stuff while we're at it, too. We'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Is there anything worse than waking up tired from a sleepless night and walking outside to that 100-degree weather? That burst of heat just makes you feel even more tired. Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and we are the experts in sleep apnea oral appliances. We can help you get the quality sleep you've been missing without that bulky face mask. Wake up refreshed and ready to enjoy those big summer plans. Let us help you sleep better and live better.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental in Roswell or call 622-4455. Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
Your ride is broke, needs a fix? Come on down, we'll take care of it quick at Big O. Big O Tires. Whatever the problem will ease your fears, we got experience nearly 60 years at Big O. Big O Tires.
You can always count on your local Big O Tires to give you quality products and trustworthy service, all for a low price. From May 16th through June 19th, get up to $140 in rebate savings on BF Goodrich tires with installation purchase, or get up to $140 in rebate savings on Michelin tires from May 23rd through June 19th. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Not valid with other offers. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 were permitted. Void where prohibited. For further details on use and restrictions thereof, see BigOTires.com. See rebate form for terms and conditions. Additional retailer offer advertised within is independent from the manufacturer's offer.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Forecasters are giving us some glimmer of hope that rain could be on the way soon as monsoon season officially begins today. New Mexico has faced back-to-back years of La Niña weather patterns, so that has contributed to historic droughts. Unfortunately, it's looking more and more like a La Niña pattern will settle in again this summer. The last 2 years, southeast New Mexico saw just a little more than 3 inches of total rain throughout the entire summer season. A man accused of stealing 3 search and rescue dogs from a local doctor has been arrested, and the dogs are now in safe hands. The FBI said it arrested John Green in San Antonio, Texas, Monday. Last month, Carlsbad police said Green broke into his ex-wife's home and stole her car keys, and then took off in her SUV with the dogs, one of which was pregnant and has since given birth to puppies. Dr. Kim Lark, Green's ex-wife, hired a private eye who tracked down Green and the dogs. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Mostly sunny today. It stays hot with our highs between 100 and 105, although we can't rule out an isolated afternoon thunderstorm around Carlsbad and Artesia. Well, the overnight hours clear, our lows dropping to 70 and windy, and then sunny and hot again on Thursday, upper 90s to around 100. We're expecting mid-90s for the high on Friday and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
In other bad news, Caterpillar, which is out of Illinois, they're now going to move their corporate headquarters from Illinois to Texas. Why do you think they're leaving? Why do you think Californians now, for the first time in 170 years, have had a net decrease in population? Why is it 59% of people that live in New Jersey want to leave New Jersey? 59%. Why is there a mass exodus out of New York for the Carolinas and Tennessee and Florida? The answers are obvious. You know, Caterpillar announced that they're going to relocate from Deerfield, Illinois to an existing operation in Irvine, Texas. They're leaving because they can't afford to stay there anymore.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
All right, kids. Sorry, Sean and I were in the break. We were talking about the Bieber deal, and I was like, wow, is Bieber even 30 yet? And found he's 28. And then on that bit of news, we found out that Post Malone's only 26.
He's 26.
I thought he was like 40.
I swore he was at least in his 30s.
See, when you tattoo your face and all that stuff, it kind of makes you look older than you think.
Have you seen him recently? Now he's got his head shaved and he's tattooing his head.
Wow.
It's a unique look. Well, I'll give that to him.
I get you want to be creative and different, but that screams mental health to me. That screams something's not firing right in the brain there.
I understand that face tattoos are more accepted now than they ever have been before. It's still a bad look.
That would be wonderful if you thought the same of yourself your whole life. But guess what? You're not going, when you're 26 now and think this is wonderful. Wait till you're 46. See how wonderful that looks.
You got a teardrop tattoo in the retirement home.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little odd.
It's going to just, whatever. But at some point, you're going to be 50, and people are going to think you're ridiculous.
Now, look, I'm not trying to body shame or shame anyone in any.
But just think about it.
But like, I have a friend who is genuinely considering a neck tattoo.
See, that's a bad idea.
It's just, and she's a very beautiful young lady. And I'm sure it wouldn't take away from her beauty if she did that. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't. Yeah. There's no need for it, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
And my opinion doesn't matter to, two shakes of a stick. I get that.
I understand. And I'm sure a lot of you. And God bless you. You want to do it. I'm just saying, think about it before you just rush off and get something stuck on your face, your neck, someplace that you can't hide. Now, with clothing or anything without looking ridiculous.
This could be coming from a naive place because I'm speaking from my perspective. I don't have a tattoo on my body. I'm assuming you don't either.
I do not.
See, so we're both tattoo virgins. Maybe it's just something that it's not for us. Maybe
I'm not
we just
opposed
don't
to
understand.
tattoos.
I'm not either.
I've actually, there's been times in my life I'm like, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm just a big wimp. I don't want to do it. But I know this. If I get one, it's certainly not going to be a place that I can't hide when I'm in like a suit or something. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to see me with a big tattoo on me while I'm, putting on a suit or trying to get, a little bit more formal.
Right. Yeah, I feel like if it's gonna be if I'm gonna get a tattoo, it's gonna be in a place that's gonna be professionally cover-upable.
Yeah.
Like arm, back,
and to be honest, like
tramp stamp, something like that.
Now that I'm pushing 50, I'm like, I don't care at this point. I'm not. I mean, when I was like in my 20s and 30s, I was like, maybe.
Your skin's still pretty supple. You've got a lot of sag in your future. I'm just saying. You get a tattoo a Tweety on your butt. Next thing you know, 20 years later, it's Big Bird.
Yeah.
Because that's a big bird.
Well. There's only one person that have to deal with that. That's my wife.
That's literally a joke from Saved by the Bell, the college years.
I can't even see my own butt at this point no more. So
I never could. I never could. I've never been able to see my own keister. It's because I don't have one.
And unless something weird happens, a doctor and Kim are about the only people going to be seeing said butt. So it's their problem, not mine. If I did it, but
the two that I've ever even toyed with getting was I want to get the words "your name" tattooed on my butt.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be funny to say I have your name tattooed on my butt.
Yeah.
And also, and this one I got sort of like dissuaded from in an on-air interview.
Okay.
This was back at when I worked at not our rock station, but another rock station. I had the boys from Hemlock on.
Okay.
This was like just a few years ago. And I was talking about how I wanted to get an H on my arm.
Okay.
Because of the story goes, before we had kids, my kid's mom and I, she miscarried. So we named that kid Hope.
Okay.
So I wanted to get the H tattooed
as Hope. Okay.
So, but as I was explaining it, the guys were like, "Yeah, for Hemlock, right?" I'm like, "Oh no, just never mind. just never mind."
Well, you were talking to Hemlock. I mean, it was a weird time.
Well, and in fairness, the H I wanted to get was their H. But
you wanted double.
That's why I brought it up with them, was because I was like, I want to get your H tattooed on my arm, but they didn't give me a chance to give the backstory. I'm like, I'm gonna have to tell the backstory every time I show this tattoo. So I don't know if I want to do that.
I get you.
I don't know if I want to relive that trauma.
Well, and that's the beauty of having a tattoo in a place that you can cover. Because if you don't feel like explaining the story, but if it's on your forehead, or on your neck, it's kinda hard.
Even the Yakuza understand professionalism. They only get their sleeves to the wrist.
Right, and then it stops right where they can cover it with a thing. And back in the day in the military, you used to not be able to have tattoos that were visible.
Right.
Now it's changed. They've lightened things up. But when I was in, like if you had like a sleeve of tats on your arm, you could not wear your BDU T-shirt out. Like I worked flight line, so I was outside a lot, and you wear your what was called at the time a BDU, your battle dress uniform. It's a different term now it's a new uniform, but at the time, and it was a camouflage shirt, button up, long sleeve shirt, and then your camouflage pants. Well, underneath said camouflage shirt, you're wearing a brown or black or green, depending on the branches, of a T-shirt underneath. Well, while you're working on the flight line and working and stuff, you're allowed to take your shirt off. So it's just the brown or green T-shirt, and then you can go work about your day. But when I was in, if you were tatted up, you cannot take that shirt off. Is those tattoos are so? And I worked at Holloman Air Force Base, and if you ever hang out in July on the flight line in Holloman Air Force
Go
Base,
outside right now in a nice long sleeve T-shirt.
Yeah,
this is not long sleeve T-shirt season.
It was a problem. Now they've changed some of the regs on all that, and they're letting because it's more acceptable and things. But yeah, back when I was in, and piercings, no, that ain't happening.
Sure.
Like and at that time I was in, females were getting in trouble for tongue rings. That was the ones that a lot of women would get tongue rings, and then they think they could hide it, and then they try talking or something. Their commanding officer's like, "What's that in your mouth?"
Gum, sir.
Right, jawbreaker. No, it's not. And then they get in trouble.
That's why you've got to get tongue-colored piercings.
Yeah.
There should be a whole line of hidden piercings for people who are pierced but are trying to hide it. Like if you have your your ear gauged or something like that, there should just be like a flesh-colored plug you could put in there. You're just like, I have just big earlobes. That's all.
Maybe there is. I don't know.
There might be.
I have no idea. Something I've never done.
Yeah. I don't walk on that wild side.
Well, and to be honest, I lived in the era where it was cool for men to get earrings and all, because and I go and or socially acceptable. I don't know what's cool.
It's so funny that we both come from a time that earrings, there was officially a straight ear.
Yeah, and that's the part. And to this day, I'm like, even if I wanted earrings, I'm like, if I want one, what ear do I put? I don't remember.
At this point, I'm pretty sure it's only gay if you get your cartilage pierced.
Well, and that's just, I'm like, I don't know the rules no more. I don't want to go out there and send messages I'm not trying to send. So, but, and I'm like, I don't feel right if I'm not doing it anywhere now, but at a younger time in my life, I was like, maybe it'd be cool. I'm glad I didn't, because it's not cool.
Honestly, I would do it for the story. To be a fella in your late 40s just walking into a Claire's asking him to pierce your ears.
But then I'm like, is it the right one or the left one? I don't remember. And I'm left-handed, so what's natural to me is sometimes the opposite. So I'm thinking, wow, naturally I guess my left ear. But I'm like, well, wait, is that the right ear or is it the wrong ear? I don't know. Wait a minute, but I don't want to get both ears because that looks too feminine.
Yeah, that's a bit off.
And so I don't know. So I just stopped. I was like, I'm not even gonna get in this.
I typed in which one is, and the first thing that popped up was which one is the gay ear. Okay, so often wearing a single piece of jewelry in the right ear indicates sexual preference.
Oh, okay.
So it's the right ear. This one.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm sorry. That's too much inside. I don't want to. I'm past the phase of my life where I'd want to wear an earring.
Right.
But that was the issue back in the day where I was like, hey, maybe I mean, this is, younger and, before being married and thinking you want to look cool. And so I considered it, but then I was like, I don't want to know that. And that was one of those areas where your buddies would call you out if you accidentally in the wrong ear. I was like, no, I'm not.
I think besides like ear gauges, you're hard. I mean, I feel like besides that, piercing is kind of a feminine thing. Like in general, you don't see a lot of pierced up dudes.
Well, I mean, depending on the circles you travel. I mean,
I'm just
like goth people and all that.
Sure,
they'll pierce everything.
Sure, I'm just trying to think of like a single piercing on a dude when it looks good. Like I know guys that rappers and stuff will get like the diamond studs in their ears. They get both ears pierced and stuff.
Sure.
It just for the most part, I feel like jewelry is a feminine thing
in some circles, and that's just it. And you and I aren't jewelry people, but I know there are certain subsects of people that love that, and some of it's cultural, some of it's just their preference. Like think about it. You think about like the Italian mob Goomba guys. Mm-hmm. All of them had like pinky rings or some kind of bling gold watch or some necklace or some kind of chain. That's part of their accoutrement.
This brings me to wonder.
How often do you see anybody wearing a pinky ring other than a mafia sounding dude?
It almost never happens.
You don't do it. It's just one of those things.
This brings me to wonder. What if you had to like go back in time and pick, what's the weirdest accessory you've ever worn? Piece of jewelry? What's the most like
as an adult or as a child?
Like as a child. Anytime. Like, looking back, what's the silliest thing you ever thought was cool at the time? I already got one. That's why I'm asking.
I think I'm going old.
Okay.
Those stupid safety pins with the beads, the little friendship pins.
Okay.
We used to take those, and usually it was because if girls gave you one, it meant that was the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was very popular to wear like a black Adidas Nike style felt shoe with fat laces. Whether they were neon pink,
right,
yellow, whatever, so it would be like a black Nike or a black Adidas shoe with white stripes, and then you'd have like neon orange fat laces.
I remember the fat laces.
And then the ultimate move was the first, not the crisscross laces, but that one straight one in the front.
Right.
You would take safety pins and put the little beads on them, and they'd be like the friendship things, and you would attach them there on the shoe.
Oh, okay.
And then if you were cool, you had like a bunch of them.
Right.
And that was like elementary school time.
Sure.
And
looking back, it's silly, but
but
that
was one of those few things that I got. But I remember, and the only reason I was embracing it because it was popular and like cool dudes that had a lot of girls that liked them. Even like fifth grade, you didn't like girls, but you kind of like girls.
You were
kind of
starting,
yeah. And so I just wanted to feel cool because look, someone likes me. I've got like 5 of these on my shoelace. It's because I'm cool. You know what I mean?
I get that.
That mindset was that back then. So that was probably right in that area.
So mine, and it triggered in my head when you mentioned that we don't wear jewelry.
Yeah.
For literally like 2 weeks in high school, I was goth.
You kind of see it, actually. I could see you in a trench coat with eyeliner on.
It wasn't even a trench coat. I had 2 or 3 like black t-shirts, and one of them was an NWO Wolfpack t-shirt from like WCW. That was my goth shirt, so it was black. And here's the kicker. I wore a choke chain.
Really?
I wore a choke chain
with like a leash?
No, not
just
with a
the
leash.
Chain.
Just the chain.
Okay.
For like 2 weeks because I found one at the dollar store that I figured out I could fit around my head. So for like 2 weeks straight, I wore a choke chain to school.
Awesome. See, I never got that I never went that. I wore a lot of hockey jerseys in high school.
It was one of those things. Looking back, even after, like directly after the fact, I'm like, "What are you doing? What? This isn't you."
Yeah. Odds are, in my high school years, you would have seen me wearing either my dad's Air Force old uniform jackets, or the green ones. I wore them a lot. I was kind of that rebel kid, you know, that angsty kid. I wore those a lot. But I also played a lot of hockey, so I'd go to the Champion Sports, the Champ Sports, which is kind of like your Big Five here, or whatever. It was mostly clothing apparel.
We have Champs, not here in Roswell. We have them in New Mexico.
Are they national? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd hit the Champs, and I used to get replica hockey jerseys for, at the time, they were like $50 a pop, which is expensive, but in terms of things, pretty cheap now.
Yeah.
And so I would have like various. So I almost every day, I kind of look like Kevin Smith now.
That's a good look, though.
I had that going on a lot in high school. I wasn't as big as him either.
That's a good look. You're rocking your sweater.
Yeah.
You know?
I was not fat in those days. I got fat as I got older.
You've eased into it.
That's right. I was in the Air Force. They let me in, but then as I got out, I put old Buddha on.
You get comfortable.
Yeah. 9:52. I do need to play one more set of break of ads here before we go. Andrea's not going to make it today, obviously.
She's going to make it.
She's got some sick kids at home and stuff, so she's doing family stuff today. So it's a quick recovery from all of them. Hopefully they'll be back up and running and annoying your mother here pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 9:52, Wall Street Business Update, Chaves County Sports Update, and a quick break before we go. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. American spending at stores, restaurants, and bars unexpectedly tumbled in May.
Retail sales fell 0.3% last month to $672.9 billion. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg anticipated an increase of 0.2%. The decline reflects slower spending growth and the 0.7% gain recorded through April.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Ahead of an expected Fed interest rate hike, Wall Street opened higher today. Federal Reserve may announce a 0.75% increase in its benchmark short-term rate, the biggest increase since 1994. China's factory output rebounded in May, rising 0.7% over 1 year earlier. Internet Explorer finally being put out to pasture. As of today, Microsoft no longer supporting the once dominant browser. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, you can tell that the Goddard baseball team was pretty well thought of, although the Rockets themselves probably wished for a better result in the postseason. But the All-State teams were released for Class 4A, and 4 Goddard guys were selected on the second team. Now, remember, this is for everybody, not just seniors. Caleb Seeley, though, was a senior for Goddard. He was picked second-team pitcher. His teammate Lucas Wright, a junior for Goddard, was picked on the second team. In the infield, sophomore Ryan Alsop was picked from Goddard, as well as in the outfield, Colby Eldridge. He's a junior for the Rockets. And picked as honorable mention catcher, Cinco Holloway, only a sophomore for Goddard. So you can bet the Rockets are looking forward to next season when all these underclassmen will be back for another try. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
You know, there's something magical about homegrown tomatoes. Watching the plants grow, seeing the blooms pop, and then picking a big, ripe tomato and slicing it up on a sandwich. Hi, this is Jim Gill. Here at Roswell Seed Company, we have some of the prettiest tomato plants that we've ever seen, just waiting for you to make the magic happen. We have some good-looking pepper plants, too, and the geraniums will be coming along soon. So you say tomato, and I'll say tomato. Come and get your plants at Roswell Seed. No, I'm not going to say tomato. Nobody around here says tomato.
It's been a long, cold, boring winter, and children in neighborhoods everywhere are waiting to hear those magical words. The pool's open! Summer weather has finally rolled around. Make sure your pool is ready. Preparing and maintaining your pool for summer the right way will create a season full of smiles instead of headaches and make your life much easier. Soft Swim, the chlorine-free sanitizing system by BioGuard, only at Mays Lumber Company.
You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning. Fergalicious. From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who are you going to call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit? Fergalicious. Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love. Fergalicious.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests, and they offer answers and solutions when you need them most. Protect your home, your children, and your pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Let Bob Reed Pest Control and their fully licensed professionals start working for you and your family today. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeastern New Mexico. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:58, about ready to wrap up today's show. If you missed any part of it, of course, today we were a little off the rails, but it happens. But if you missed any part of it, you can always check it out at your leisure, ksvptv.com. We had John from Oasis Computers in the 7 o'clock hour. We had a great conversation about a little bit about technology and things like that. So check that out. And then, of course, last hour, we had Roswell Independent School District Superintendent Brian Luck join us and gave us highlights from the last school board meeting and just gave us a little talk about what's happening through the school district right now. Had a great conversation with him. And then, of course, this hour, our guests couldn't make it in. So you heard us talk a lot about things that you may or may not want to hear. So, but if you want to hear it again, it's there for you to check out. ksvptv.com. You can also go to our KEND Roswell's Talk FM YouTube channel, our Roswell's Talk FM Facebook page. All of these will get you to our videos and things. And by the way, if you got friends and family and you had graduates at any of the Roswell schools here, Artesia High over we got those videos there. You can go back and watch them at your leisure. So if you got out-of-town friends or family, or you got family coming into town and say, oh, did you see little Bobby or little Sue's graduation? And here it is. So you can go back and check it out when you get a chance to. It's all there. Sports as well. And, of course, when we gear up for high school sports here in the fall, you'll find KSVP TV your home for all of that, too. So, again, we apologize to our brand listeners. A snake got in the transmitter about midnight last night, a little after, and has wreaked havoc and has knocked us off the air. They're, as we speak, getting that cleaned up and damage assessed, and hopefully that transmitter is salvageable, because it's not, that might take a little bit longer for us to get back up. We have a backup, which will help, but it's a mess. So anyway, we got to go. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of it. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk.